Coming up on MCC 30, it is the Thanksgiving Throwdown. 11 action-packed bouts here tonight, featuring the welterweight championship. Andy Branson defending his title. Also, the King, Elvis Mutapcic, defending his title as well. Stick around, MCC 30 is on the way. I'm joined by the main man, John Halverson, and the lawman, Rick Tazler. I'm Marcus McIntosh, courtesy of KCCI. See you in just moments. Welcome inside the cage at Hy-Vee Hall for MCC 30, the Thanksgiving Throwdown. I'm Marcus McIntosh, along with the lawman, Rick Tazler, and the Hurricane, John Halverson. MCC 30, the Throwdown. John, a lot of great bouts here tonight.
The last show of 2010, and you know MCC is bringing it. 2 title fights, some of the most exciting fighters in the Midwest. I can't wait to get the show started, Marcus.
And it kicks off with 2 young guys going at it, right?
Absolutely. We've got Lance Benoist, newcomer out of St. Louis, undefeated both in his amateur and professional career, taking on Miguel El Rey Rios. 2 guys destined for success, on their way to the big show, and they're going to fight tonight inside the cage.
Now, those of you who didn't expect to see him back in the cage, he is in the cage tonight. The lawman, Rick Tazler. Talk about that Benoist and Miguel Rios fight.
I'm really pumped about this fight. On paper, guys, this could be a main event. We got 2 very aggressive, very well-rounded fighters, undefeated fighters, just coming off the Ultimate Fighter things they did in Vegas there, the trials. On paper, they both look almost identical, very aggressive, very right fighters. Me as a fighter, I would not want to come into this cage in Des Moines, Iowa against Miguel Rios tonight. The crowd's going to fire him up. Let's see what Lance does to react, and I see fight of the night, guys.
All right, and if that isn't enough, we have 2 championship fights tonight, John. Talk about the championship battles.
First up, we've got Justin DeMoney, Strikeforce vet, coming in to challenge Andy Danger Zone Branson for his welterweight belt. Branson wants somebody who's going to stand up and strike with him, and that's just what he's getting tonight, because that's a game plan coming from Justin DeMoney.
Now let's talk about the middleweight championship, the King defending his title.
We've got classic matchup, striker versus grappler. Elvis Mutapcic, the 3-time defending MCC middleweight champion, one of the most dominant MCC champions in history. Highlight reel out of every performance from Mutapcic. He's coming in here tonight taking on a tough up-and-coming submission wizard in Josh Rosaan.
That's just 3 of the 11 bouts here tonight. We're back with much more, along with the Hurricane, John Halverson, the lawman, Rick Tazler. I'm Marcus McIntosh. We're back with the first fight after this. Welcome to MCC 30 Thanksgiving Throwdown. We're preparing for our first bout of the night. It is a fight featuring 2 young men who are bound to get things started the right way. You're looking at some highlights from past fights. We expect big swinging like you're watching now, body slams, submission attempts, throws, heel hooks, guillotine chokes. We're expecting it all tonight here at MCC 30 Thanksgiving Throwdown. I am joined with the Hurricane, John Halverson. We also have the lawman, Rick Tazler, on board with us as well, inside Hy-Vee Hall in Des Moines. And gentlemen, I'm expecting a barn burner tonight.
Oh man, the last show of 2010, Marcus, you know it's going to go down MCC Big Willie style tonight, buddy.
All right, lawman Rick Tazler, thanks for joining us here at the broadcast table. We're expecting a lot of stuff tonight. Talk about this first fight if you could. It's Thomas Olafson against Chad Vandermark.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. These guys are both very heavy-handed fighters. Thomas comes from the DMX. He's a superstar from there when he comes. He throws every punch with very bad intentions, Marcus. Chad's the same way. Chad's got good cardio, very heavy-handed. I asked them both their prediction before. Both of them stay a first-round knockout.
All right, let's check out the tail of the tape. John Halverson, talk to that, please.
All right, Thomas Olafson, 5'9", 170-pound freestyle fighter with a 3-2 record, taking on Chad Vandermark, 5'10", 170-pound striker with a 6-5 mixed martial arts record.
All right, we're hoping to get things started off the right way. A big barn burner for MCC 30 Thanksgiving Throwdown here inside Hy-Vee Hall. There you see our first competitor in the cage already. Just waiting Chad Vandermark to get the final instructions from outside the ring, get the final check, and step into the cage, rather, for his bout to kick things off tonight. And look at Chad Vandermark right there. He looks like he's in better shape than I've ever seen him in.
Yeah, he trained really hard for this fight, Marcus. Did a lot of training at Spartan Strength. Of course, he's at New Beginnings MMA with Josh Neer, Elvis Mutapcic, Andy Branson, all those guys. So definitely look for a good performance coming out of Vandermark tonight.
All right, let's go on up to our ring announcer, Sean T, for the official introduction of the fighters.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this bout's going to be 3 rounds in the MCC welterweight division. Brought to us by our friends at Budweiser, the undisputed king of beers. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 9 inches tall. He weighed in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Des Moines, Iowa with a record of 3 wins with 2 losses. This is Thomas Olofsson. And his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Des Moines, Iowa with a record of 6 wins with 5 losses. This is Chad Vandermark.
Both men, heavy-handed fighters, getting ready to throw bombs here in the first round of the first bout of the night. Let's let them, and watch them rather, get it on. Let's see some of the fireworks, gentlemen. I can't wait for Thanksgiving Throwdown to get underway.
The thing I found most interesting about this fight, John, I talked to them both beforehand. Neither one of them knew anything about the other one. They were just here to fight.
You know, I'll tell you what, Rick, sometimes that's a good way to go. You know, a lot of guys study their opponents, watch a lot of video and whatnot, and for some guys it kind of freaks them out and changes up the game plan. So, like you said, you got 2 guys that are in here tonight, don't know a whole lot about each other, they're just here to fight, so that's going to make for a good fight.
So the fans out there know Olofsson's in the black tight shorts, the back spandex, and Mr. Chad Vandermark in the black and gray shorts, the looser shorts, and both men grappling up right now.
Both of them are very strong, athletic builds. Thomas likes them big hooks. He says he's been working a lot of precision compact with Rich Burt's, really straightening his punches out. It's showing a little bit now. Good takedown defense, but now we hit the mat.
All right, looks like he is in the half guard of Tom Olofsson. Chad Vandermark throwing some punches to the body. I didn't expect this one to go to the ground, but hey, wherever it goes, we're anxious to watch it.
Hands inside, get off the mat. There you go, forearm in his throat.
You can listen to some of the instructions from Chad Vandermark's corner right there. Forearm to the throat, knees inside.
Tom's doing a good job of tying him up. He's not really taking any damage here. Them body shots sounded like they hurt, but he's really not taking any damage.
Rick, from off his back right here, what does Thomas Olofsson want to do to kind of control things and do the most damage?
He's doing a good job. He's controlling the head and controlling the biceps, so he's not taking any big shots. He's working his guard up, looking for submissions, looking for an armbar triangle setup, something like that, but his goal here is just not to take damage. He needs to lock Vandermark back down so he can't posture up for them big strikes.
And John, what does Vandermark want to do from inside the closed guard right
What Vandermark needs to do is he needs to get Olofsson to open up the guard so that he can pass and get to a more dominant position. There's not a whole lot you can do from inside somebody's guard, especially when they've got your head tucked like that and not giving any room to posture up. So if you can't break free so you can get that distance to rain down the punches, you need to pass guard and get busy from there.
And both men look very strong. We saw Chad Vandermark attempt to pin the right arm of Olofsson, did not work, and now it looks like he's working in. I can't tell what he's working for, but both men not doing a whole lot of damage right here. Just it appears that they're both trying to stay safe.
There you go, good. Hold on to that wrist.
Chad Vandermark did posture up and throw a nice right hand that was mostly blocked by Olofsson.
Yeah, Olofsson doing a good job of not taking the damage, but he's not scoring any points either from his back. You can see he goes from closed guard to open guard, but he doesn't really do a whole lot to sweep or to reverse the position or not. He's doing more of a better job of just kind of tying him up. And you know, it's the first fight of the night, so we don't know how much the referee's going to let go of. He's just going to stand him up or kind of let him pitter-pat around. I see the ref just called for action. So Vandermark needs to get busy on landing some strikes or passing guard, and Olofsson needs to get out of that position.
That's right, Vandermark landing strikes to the body, not much to the head at this point, Rick.
He really isn't. He really needs to get busy. He's really defending himself well. It looks like he might have a little cut about his left eye, Thomas, but he needs to open up. He needs to open up with submission attempts.
All right, round 1 in the books. Gentlemen, how would you score that first round? I know we're not referees, but how do you score that first round?
Well, you'd have to give the first round to Vandermark just simply on control. It's not that he did a whole lot of damage, but you know, one of the the things is the control of the cage. So Vandermark kind of put the fight where he wanted, and that's Olofsson on his back.
That's exactly what I would say too, Marcus. I mean, on their feet there was a dead draw, but as soon as it went to the ground, it was all Chad.
All right, and here's some highlights from the first round of action. Gentlemen, talk us through these, if you will.
Well, there's Vandermark on top, looking to land some pretty good strikes, but again, Olofsson doing a great job of kind of covering up and not letting him land anything directly to the face. A couple are going to slip through just because you're fighting with 4-ounce gloves, but Olofsson not taking a ton of damage. Vandermark doing some damage to the body there, though, with some elbow strikes, and that's going to affect Olofsson in the later rounds should it go that far.
Yes, it will.
And Rick, I guess neither man can tell the future because this first round knockout didn't happen that both were predicting.
You're exactly right. We'll see in the second round.
All right.
Chad said he had better cardio than Thomas. It looks like right now Thomas is winded a little bit. We'll see where that muscle comes into play here in the second round.
Both men look like they're in very good shape. Round 2, here we go.
Tight, elbows in.
Both men stand up so far. Nice leg kick by Chad Vandermark.
Right over the top. Right
Chad Vandermark in the loose black and gray shorts.
right over the top.
Olofsson, oh, nice right hand by Chad Vandermark. Olofsson in the black spandex shorts. Nice leg kick by Vandermark.
Thomas said beforehand, he said, I can take a beating. He has a very hard head. His left eye's really swollen shut. It's not slowing him down from coming forward and throwing them big right hooks.
You're right about that. He's throwing, both men are throwing big punches, with Vandermark landing the occasional leg kick like right there, but it looks like it was partially checked.
It really looks like Chad's starting to get his timing and his distance. He's landing better, straighter shots.
Get underneath the waist.
Both men up against the cage.
Good, you got it.
Tom definitely needs to pummel in here and put Chad against the cage, or he's really looking at getting taken down.
Yeah, he's in a bad spot right here. He needs to, like Rick said, he needs to pummel under, get that underhook like he's doing, but he needs to swing out so that his back's not against the cage. Right now, he's in serious danger of getting taken down, and there you see he does by Vandermark, and he's working to mount right away.
If he mounts here, yes, he is, Marcus. He's really close. If he mounts here, Thomas is going to be in a bad position with his head against the cage. If he starts raining down punches, the ref might be looking here.
Is there anything Olofsson can do except, well, he's looked like he appeared to be rolling on.
That's what he needs to do. He can't give him his back there, Marcus. He's got to buck and roll. He's got to get his back up against the cage, and he's got to wall walk up there, John.
Go.
He needs to get out of that spot right now because he's mounted, rolling from side to back, and Vandermark's not going anywhere.
He's not defending himself here at all. He's in for the 8-second ride, and Chad's really dug his heels into his butt there, and he's not going anywhere like John said.
Yes, he has. He's dug in. Olofsson tried to buck, didn't appear to work, and Vandermark's just sitting on top of him, sitting on his stomach, just bringing down punches, punch after punch after punch.
Referee Thomas Mason's getting close to stopping this. Tommy's one of the best in the business. He's going to give him any chance to defend himself, but there he goes. He waves it off.
And it's all over.
Yep.
Chad Vandermark has defeated Thomas Olofsson first bout of the evening by TKO, ref stoppage due to strikes.
Very good sportsmanship there. Chad in winning helps him up there.
And that's what I like about coming and watching these guys go at it. You know, no matter what beef they might have leading up to the fight, you know, after it's over, they help each other up, they hug, you know, they get it out, and they get it over with, and it's on to the next thing.
You're right, Mark. It's the best sport in the world. You know, out of the 30 fights that I've had, I'm sure John's the same way. I talk to my opponents. I talk to probably 20 of them on a weekly basis because you really become friends afterwards.
I've never fought anybody that I don't like, Marcus, so, you know.
Right.
Let's go on into the cage for our ring announcer, Sean T., to give the official call to the end of this fight.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, your winner, 2 minutes, 2 seconds in round number 2, TKO by ref stoppage. Your winner, Chad Vandermark.
There you have it. First bout in the books. Chad Vandermark, the TKO winner in the second round. We're back with more on MCC 30. Thanksgiving Throwdown. After this, stay with us. Welcome back to MCC 30 Thanksgiving Throwdown. I'm Marcus McIntosh with the Hurricane John Halverson and the lawman Rick Tazler. We're looking at the end of the first bout of the evening that featured Chad Vandermark putting a beating on Olofsson right there. Second round TKO, gentlemen. Much more action to come. I'm excited.
Absolutely. One fight in the books. It was a TKO win. What do you think this one's going to end?
I tell you, we have two contrasting styles here. We got Jose, who claims to be a good kickboxer. Mitch Parker, who is an excellent wrestler. Coming from New Beginnings, another New Beginnings fighter with Jose, he said he's been working on a lot of takedown defense. Mitch says he's looking for that big right hand, but if he can't, this fight's going to the ground.
All right, quick talk with the tail of the tape. John?
All right, Jose Colon, a 6-foot, 155-pound freestyle fighter with an impressive 13-3 record, taking on the convict, Mitch Parker, 5'11", 155-pound jiu-jitsu practitioner with an equally impressive 10-2 mixed martial arts record.
Let's go to our cage side announcer, Sean T., to introduce the fighter. Sean.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout's going to be 3 rounds in the MCC lightweight division. Brought to us by our friends at Colorworks Tattoo and Body Piercing. Clean, safe, professional, located in the lower level of Valley West Mall. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, this mixed martial artist stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 156 pounds, fighting out of Des Moines, Iowa, with a record of 13 wins with 3 losses. This is Jose the Soul Reaper Colon. And across the ring, his opponent fighting out of the red corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 156 pounds, fighting out of Melcher, Iowa, with a record of 10 wins with 2 losses. This is Mitch, the Convict Parker.
There you have it, Mitch Parker in the brown shorts, Jose Colon in the camo with black shorts. Gentlemen, I'm excited.
I'm excited for this fight too, Marcus. Sorry about that, Don.
It's okay.
Both of these guys have done their homework. Mitch says that he plans on going to the ground, but he knows he's going to throw some kicks. He plans on catching one of those kicks, he says, and knocking him out with a big right hand.
And
He tied him up
right
quick
away.
here.
He sure did.
Good job closing the distance early for Mitch Parker. He wants to get the fight to the ground. He wants to take away the tools
And there it goes
that
to the
Jose
ground.
Colon possesses with that kickboxing, and that's exactly what he did. Put him right on his back.
Parker right now in side control. And it looks like Colon is I don't know what he's trying to do.
It looks like he went to lock up an armbar and then just kind of switched it for position there, and now he's going to get his guard back.
He's doing a good job swimming guard. Training with Josh Neer and those guys every day, you better know how to swim guard or you're in big.
Or
And
tap
take a
quick.
punch.
Yes.
All right, now Colon has Parker back into his full guard. Parker with some nice body shots right there.
Mitch is a really good wrestler. He's got really good hips training with a mule den. He's got good hips. It's going to be hard to get him off him. He's doing the right thing. He's posturing up. He's looking for that arm bar with working his guard up there. That's, I think, his best bet not to take a bunch of damage, John.
Looks like
But he's in danger of the triangle right there. Jose Colon looks like it's tight.
That's deep.
Parker needs to move.
That is deep. Mounted triangles. He's in a very bad position.
Yes,
Oh, and he slips out the back door.
Lots of heart shown by Mitch Parker there.
indeed.
Great position reversal there by Jose Colon, who now has the back of Mitch Parker, looking for the rear naked choke.
It's not under the chin, but that's a very bad position. That hurts. When you get your jaw out of alignment there, that hurts bad.
Rick, can he finish this out without Colon getting his hooks in?
He can from that position, but he can't. Mitch is starting to wear down a little bit. He's got a big knot right in the center of his head there. He can finish the choke if he can bury it there, but Mitch did a good job. He might be reversing this, John.
It looks like he reversed it right at the guard.
Great back and forth action at the
Yes.
beginning of the fight with 1 minute left in the first round. Yeah, I'd like to see a couple more just the same way.
So would I. This has been a good battle so far. Now you have Parker on top with a couple right hands. Looks like a armbar right there, or I can't tell.
Wow, that was tight. That was a good armbar attempt from Jose Colon. It looks like he abandoned that early, though, because Parker was, it
into
looked
the
deep, but he
omoplata.
was able to slip right out of it.
Marcus Jose's doing a really good job at chain wrestling here. He goes for one submission. If he misses that, he's rolling straight into the next one. We've seen triangle attempts, we've seen armbar attempts, and we just seen an omoplata attempt. Here he goes right back to a deep triangle.
Wow. If Parker comes through this, that does look like it's sunk in pretty deep, too.
If he can get an angle cut here, straight on, he probably is not going to be able to tap him until he gets his arm across there. But if he can cut an angle here, John, that looks pretty tight from our position.
Yeah, it does. You know, one of the things that Jose talked about training for this fight, he said that he went back to the basics, just freshen up on all the basics. And that's what wins fights, Ricks. You know, going to the basics, the simple things, the good setups. When you're on the feet, you know, the simple jab sets up so much. When you're on the ground, just what you talked about, that chain wrestling. If you miss the armbar, then you go for the triangle. If you miss the triangle, then you go for the omoplata. Things like that, thinking one move ahead of your opponent. That's exactly what he's going out there and doing. Great game plan from Jose Colon.
And Rick, you mentioned it, Parker has a knot right in the middle of his forehead.
He does. He looks like a unicorn. That thing's growing as we speak.
Or Cyclops, one of the two. Oh, man. We're going to look at some highlights from the first round action. Gentlemen, why don't you talk us through these?
There was Jose. He had that reverse triangle. Mitch Parker was slipping out the back door, but Jose still ended up landing some really nice shots to the head of the convict Mitch Parker. Great reversals by both of these fighters. Great, really good first round. I'd have to give the upper hand to Jose Colon, who went for a lot of submission attempts and landed some pretty good strikes in doing so.
I'm with you, John. From the bottom, he was more aggressive. He had him in a lot worse positions. I'm going to have to give the first round to Jose also.
And Rick, how does it speak to Parker's heart, though? He could have tapped at any point, I would think, during that first round.
I tell you what, when he was in that mounted triangle, I thought about tapping for him. So I'm right with you, Marcus. That's a lot of heart.
All right, round 2 action coming up. Round 1 in the books. Round 2 set to go once again. Mitch Parker's in the brown camo shorts and Jose Colon in the camo shorts with black in them as well. Now let's see him going. Also, Parker has that big knot in the middle of his forehead.
As you've seen in between rounds, Teddy Bear Williams is in Jose's corner. Mitch is a really good wrestler. Nate was a nationally ranked JUCO wrestler in his camp. So, I think Jose's working on his wrestling. You see the good sprawl. He's seen this stuff before, but Mitch is just relentless.
Yes, he is.
And another bad position for Mitch Parker, landing himself in a possible guillotine right there.
Rick, does Colon have to get that right leg out to sink that guillotine in deeper?
He doesn't. That arm and guillotine, it's really good. Ronnie Britt loves that arm and guillotine. I do not. I abandon that arm quick. As long as he can keep that hook hipped right there, he can submit him from here.
Once again, as in the first round, Parker hanging tough.
Mitch is. Mitch has got a grimace on his face, and he is turning blue, but he's not even thinking about tapping. He got a little space there. He's going to try to soften the body up. Jose's really got to be careful, John, not to burn that right arm out in this position.
Exactly. That's just what I was thinking, too. A lot of guys go for this type of a guillotine, and it requires a lot of strength to really pull it off with the arm in like that. And they wrench on it, and they wrench on it, and they wrench on it, and then the guy gets out, and they realize, man, I've got arm pump now. Getting that oxygen back flowing to the muscles. It's tough, and it takes time.
And they've had this position, Colon has had this for about 30 seconds. At some point, do you just abandon it and go for something else?
Absolutely.
You do.
Absolutely.
Mitch has been in this position before. He's staying really calm. I'm not in Mitch's head right now, but if I am, I think he's really hoping to posture up and pay him back here.
Yeah, right now, Jose Colon let go of that hand, so right now Mitch just needs to get his head out.
He just needs to clear his head. He does. Jose needs to abandon that. Maybe a sit-up sweep on the other side there, John. It looks like he's kind of set up for that sit-up sweep. He needs to really abandon that. He's not going to have any strength left in that right arm.
And with Parker not in any danger of getting choked right now, he could just be trying to clear his head and wait out the clock a little bit, and then try to posture up and maybe steal the round with less than a minute left in this round.
There you go. He's got his head out. He's posturing up. Jose's thinking again for a triangle.
Yes, he is.
And this one looks pretty deep from our angle.
It's going to be hard to cut his angle off that fence there, the direction he was going. But now he's switching it up. Now he's going to get the right angle off that fence if he can get that foot buried again.
Parker needs to back out. Why play into this game with putting yourself into position, fighting to get out, getting put back into position? He needs to abandon this, back out of it. You see, he did momentarily, and now he's right back in it.
Right back.
This game plan is not working.
It really isn't. If he gets his arm across there and he gets this buried, this fight's over. Mitch needs to back out and go back to the basic wrestling mentality. He's got to get side control in this position. He's got to do some damage. I think he's lost the first 2 rounds. Marcus?
I would agree with both of you. Did not look good at all this round for Parker. Went from submission to submission. Colon had that arm in guillotine. Did not submit him, but Parker couldn't do much to get out of it. But as you both mentioned, Parker hangs tough. He's a tough guy. He did not give up much. I would have tapped out from the very beginning, but that shows a lot of heart.
You and me both. It looks like Jose's in better condition here.
All right, we're going to look at some of the action from round 2 of Parker versus Colon. Here we go.
Colon doing a good job of nailing that triangle. It seems like every time he throws it up, he lands it. What he needs to do right in the next round is if he gets it, he needs to really work on the finish. He needs to reach up, grab that ankle, cinch it up, pull down on the back of Mitch Parker's head, raise the hips up, and really squeeze. Really try to finish that because he's winning on the judges' scorecard. But obviously in mixed martial arts, you don't ever want to let anything go to the judges. And of course, anytime Mitch Parker's in there, he's dangerous. So if you get in that opportunity where you can finish the fight, whether it be an arm bar or whether it be a triangle choke, you really need to work on the finish.
Even tired like this, you're exactly right, John. You got to watch out for Mitch's right hand. He will put you to sleep. He is very, very heavy-handed.
And after the first 2 rounds, it looks like Mitch Parker needs that right hand or some type of submission to pull this fight out. So let's check out round 3 reaction. Mitch Parker, he is wearing the brown camel-looking shorts, and Jose Colon is wearing the camel shorts with black in them. Round 3 action. Here we go.
I don't know about you, John. If I was in Mitch's corner, I would have been telling him, go out and throw for the fences. He goes for another outside single, and he takes his fight down. Jose's wanting to get back on his feet, wall walk there.
It looks like he tried to set up for that triangle just in case he got in position. Now Parker's in a better position here, not in the guard of Jose Colon, but still he's down 2 rounds. He needs to finish the fight. Even a devastating round for him, even a 10-8 round may not get it. So he needs to finish the fight.
Once again, he's looking for that inverted triangle. I don't know if he's going to be able to get any position there off that fence.
That looks like you can't smell too good.
Yeah. You're probably right in the 3rd round,
Maybe
Marcus.
you can just gas him out right here and put him to sleep that way.
I see what you did there, Marcus.
Jose's got his head out. He's trying to cut that angle and go back to guard. He needs to bail with those legs and push off the cage, and I think he can stand up from there.
There you go, man.
Now Parker's in side control of Jose Colon.
Yeah, Parker landed some strikes to the body, but they're not effective. He needs to get out of that position, get his head up, and either land some strikes to the head or get up and try to finish his fight on the feet.
He does. Just because he's on top right now, once again, like the 1st and 2nd round, he is not winning this round.
Jose Colon staying very active from the bottom, throwing those legs up, trying for any type of submission he can get. And as you mentioned, Rick, chain wrestling, going from one to the other, just trying to end this fight however he can.
He really is. There's no submissions you can hit from here. Jose needs to clear his head, get back to guard, stand up, do something to win this round. Mitch is doing a good job of just kind of holding him there so he's not taking any damage, but he's got to watch those knees to the head there.
And we talked to Jose last night at the weigh-ins, and he said, predictions on the fight, I really don't have any. I'm just going to go in there, I'm going to have fun like I always do, and I'm going to go with the flow. And that's exactly what he's done here throughout the whole fight. He's just kind of given whatever Mitch Parker's given him.
And that's exactly the words he used in the back. When I asked him his prediction, he said, I'm going to go with the flow, and I'm going to win the fight.
Now Parker's in side control. This is where he can do some damage if he can keep Jose's legs out of his face.
And Jose's flexible, John. He's throwing those legs in every position.
20 seconds, you move!
And you hear Jose's corner yelling instructions to him.
That side control position that Mitch is in right now, Marcus, is a lot better position than he's in, but he's got to be thinking about posturing up and finish this fight. He's got to give referee Masson something to look at to think about stopping this fight, because right now, Jose's doing an excellent job of defending himself.
That's right, staying on his back, he keeps moving, he keeps posturing up. Parker's trying to land some punches, but they don't seem to be landing with much success or with much punishment behind them. 10 seconds in this round. It looks like this one will go to the judges' scorecard.
And a good 3rd round for Mitch Parker. He definitely won the 3rd round, but in my opinion, he lost the first 2. So it looks like, if the judges agree with me, we'll see it a 29-28 win for Jose Colon in his MCC debut.
And I have to ask both of you, as a fighter in the cage, no matter what your corner's telling you, do you know going into that last round what you need to win that fight, whether you think you have it or whether you think you might need to put this guy away because you've lost the first 2 rounds?
Yeah, I believe so. In Mitch Parker's case, he's got to know that he was down the first 2 rounds. He had to come out with a little desperation in the 3rd round.
Mitch did a lot better here in the 3rd round of getting inside control, staying out of his guard. He landed some good punches. Was it a little too late? In my opinion, it was, but Mitch never gave up. He came back in this 3rd round, like you said, John. I think he won the 3rd round.
He sure didn't give up, as you mentioned, Rick. There was a lot of times during this fight where he could have tapped out. He was in a variety of chokes. He could have given up, but he hung in there. He weathered the storm, and he came back to keep fighting throughout this battle. And, this is a testament to both men. Very good bout here.
Yeah, he definitely, Parker showed a lot of heart in this fight. It was a good fight. Jose Colon showed a lot of technique in this fight. He was an impressive debut for him. Both fighters will take something back to the gym when they go. Regardless of the winner or the loser, both fighters can learn a lot from this fight. If you're Jose, then you go back to the gym and you work on your finishes. He knows that he can get in these positions. He got into a finishing position, whether it be armbar, triangle, time after time after time. Now he needs to go back to the gym, stick with the basics that he's getting good at, needs to work on his finish.
You're exactly right, John. These young fighters do not lose a fight. They either win or they learn. They go back to the drawing board and they come back out. Jose was more of a kickboxer. He told me in the background, his jiu-jitsu is very, very clean.
Okay, and we're waiting for our ring announcer, cage announcer rather, Sean T, to step in to give us the official call to the end of this fight. But, you know, the first two battles here tonight on MCC 30 Thanksgiving Throwdown, definitely worth the price of admission. If you're watching at home, you're missing it not being here live, but there's a lot of action going on here. This is the first 2 of 11 bouts here tonight, ending with championship fights between Andy Branson, he is the welterweight champion, taking on Justin DeMoney, and Elvis the King Mutapcic in the middleweight championship, taking on Joshua Sane. And of course, we have the trilogy, Mike Van Meer, Dean Bradley 3, and of course, my man, the Warfrog, getting back in there. I can't wait to see Ronnie in there again.
Oh yeah, he just wasn't happy sitting here in the booth with us, Mark, as he was missing out on the fun. He had to get back in there.
All right, let's go up to our cage announcer, Sean T, to call the official end to the fight.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 hard-fought rounds, we go to judges' scorecards. Judge number 1 scores the bout 29-28, Parker. Judge number 2 scores the bout 28-29, Cologne. Judge number 3 scores the bout 28-29, your winner by split decision, Mitch Parker.
Well, that was a shocker to us here at Cage Side. We'll talk about this much more when we come back on MCC 30, the Thanksgiving Throwdown. There you have it. Mitch Parker, he was a split decision winner. We didn't agree. We'll be back with more after the break. Stay with us. MCC 30 continues. Welcome back to MCC 30 Thanksgiving Throwdown here at Hy-Vee Hall in Des Moines, Iowa. I am Marcus McIntosh with the Hurricane John Halverson and the lawman Rick Tazler. I think all 3 of us are still speechless after the results of our second bout of the night. Mitch Parker and Jose Colon. We both saw Jose Colon taking the victory. All 3 of us did. What happened?
You know, that's just another reason why it shows you don't ever let a fight go to the judges' decisions. That's why you train to fight, to win, to finish the fight. You know, we all had in the booth. We all had it 2 rounds to 1 for Jose Colon, but you know, obviously the judges saw it a little bit different, and they're the ones scoring the fight, not us.
I'm amazed, Rick.
Me too. Mitch never gave up. He was definitely a dominant wrestler. And like John and I were talking about, Jose threw a lot of submissions, but he never finished him. He showed a lot of heart, and like I said, a devastating wrestler. The judges seen it different than we did.
That's right. And you guys mentioned that, you know, you take something away from these fights. Jose Colon definitely take away from this fight. You must finish when you get a guy in a bad situation.
Absolutely.
Our next bout is stepping up into the cage. Stoney Stewart against Luis Saldana. John, talk us through the tale of the tape.
All right, here we go. Stoney Stewart, 5'9", 145-pound boxer and wrestler with a perfect 6-0 mixed martial arts record, taking on Luis Saldana, 5'11", 145-pound boxer with an impressive 13-1 record. And Marcus, I have a feeling this one is not going to the judges' scorecard.
All right, let's go on up to our cage announcer, Sean T, for the official introduction of the fighters.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this next bout is going to be 3 rounds in the MCC featherweight division. Brought to us by our friends at Graffiti Graphics. Stand out in the crowd with wraps for cars, trucks, boats, and RVs. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet and 9 inches tall. He weighed in at 146 pounds. Fighting out of Creston, Iowa, with a perfect record of 6 wins with no losses. This is Stoney Stewart. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 146 pounds. Fighting out of Des Moines, Iowa, with a record of 13 wins with only 1 loss. This is Luis Saldana. Your referee,
Luis Saldana and Stoney Stewart going at it in just moments. Stoney Stewart in the black and white shorts. Luis Saldana in the black and white shorts with some red lettering on it. And both men come from pretty good camps. Stewart coming from the Henry camp and Luis Saldana from the burgeoning New Beginnings MMA camp.
Absolutely. Luis Saldana has become one of the fastest rising stars in MCC for his quick finishes and his well-rounded style. Stoney Stewart an up-and-comer with a perfect record, like you said, out of the Henry camp that's producing some of the best fighters in the Midwest right now.
You're exactly right. The Henry camp have more heart and soul than anybody coming up through the camp for a young camp. They're really exchanging good on their feet. I think Luis is probably better technical on his feet, but when you got people like the Henrys, what's it at, a 5th degree black belt in Taekwondo? I think Stoney's used to seeing feet coming at him.
Pretty sure you're right.
Saldana holds his hands relatively low. I'm a little worried about that.
He really
nice
does.
High kick.
He's good at counterpunching. He's waiting for that shot. That's why he's holding it low just like that. He's looking to sprawl. He's looking. He knows he's fast enough to bring his hands up in the first round.
Nice leg kick by Saldana.
Second, the third round, you might want to bring them hands up.
Answer that kick.
One takedown attempt so far by Stony Stewart, but nice combination, but he paid for it with the right hand to the face, Stony Stewart did. Saldana moving very well.
He's moving very well. He's cutting great angles, really counter-punching very well there.
Oh, nice
Good
head
head kick.
by Saldana.
Gets kicked in the head, wrestler's instinct. That's exactly what. We're going to take a single leg takedown.
And he got it. But Saldana's trying to walk the cage to get back up.
Yeah, Saldana's got great takedown defense, and that's exactly what he's doing, Marcus. Like you said, he's in a good position right now to walk up, get back to his feet, and not take a lot of damage.
Keep your hands low.
Once again, the third fighter coming from New Beginnings. Once again, Andy Branson, Elvis, Josh Neer. I tell you what, he might say he's a boxer, but he's a very well-rounded fighter. Wall walk perfectly, came up. Stoney's a great wrestler.
Nice body slam by Stony Stewart. That shows strength right there.
Yeah,
Man.
sent Saldana for a ride. Great recovery by Stony Stewart to get the fight to the ground, and that's exactly where he wants it. He's inside position right now. Saldana's got ahead, but it's not a finishing position. It's more of just kind of holding him there to not take any damage. So great job by Stewart to get the fight to the ground.
Rick, what does Stony Stewart want to do to control this fight from here?
The first thing he's got to do is clear his head, Marcus. He's doing a good job. He's keeping his knees inside. He's keeping Luis's hips away from him. He needs to clear that head so he can land some strikes.
And John, what does Saldana want to do from the bottom to get a better position or even get up back to the feet where he was dominating?
Well, he's working his way to the cage, and as we saw earlier, Luis is really good at wall walking, and so that's where he wants to be. But if he can't get up, he wants to turn into him and get a guard. He doesn't want to be stuck in the side guard of Stony Stewart for that's an advantageous position for Stewart, so he doesn't want to stay there. But, with 10 seconds left in the round, he's got an opportunity to get it back to his feet as he comes out for round number 2.
Yeah, Stewart's trying for that mount, and he dropped the right elbow on Saldana. It does not look like he'll get the mount as round 1 ends. Pretty good action. Stony Stewart took a vicious head kick, and he's still walking around, and I guess that determines whether or not you're a fighter. I think not when you're doing well, but when you get rocked, what do you do after that? I'd be rolling around, tapping out to air and trying to climb out of the cage.
He showed a lot of heart. He got that single leg takedown. I don't know who to give it to. If you give it to the head kick or the big slam, John.
Take a look at some action from the first round here. Good counter strike by Luis Saldana coming off the hook there. Now we see the head kick, and immediately Stony Stewart shoots for the single leg. And here we take a look at the big slam. Took Saldana for a ride.
Wow. Look at it again. It was so good, got to see it twice.
All power.
Both men showing a lot of heart in there. Round 1 in the books. 3 rounds here. If this goes all 3 rounds. If you're Josh Neal, what are you telling Luis Saldana at this point, Rick?
You're telling him to keep on his feet, sprawl and brawl. You don't want to go to the ground with him again. You want to use his hands, you want to use those head kicks, and you want to put him to sleep this second round.
John, if you're Josh Henry, what were you telling Stony Stewart?
Good position. Get the fight to the ground. Keep your hands up. Avoid getting kicked in the head at all costs. And, wait for Saldana to make a mistake. Close the distance and take him down to the ground.
Both men throwing some heavy hands this round. Oh, another head kick, followed by a combination by Saldana.
Stoney's throwing a lot of power, but Luis's technique is just beating him every time. That straight punch is beating that hook to him every time, John.
You're right, Rick. Saldana's very crisp with his punches. Stony Stewart a little winging of the punches. But Stony Stewart's very tough. He's hanging in there.
He is. He's got a hard head, Marcus. Those head kicks, Luis is really finding his range, and he might land one of those coming up here.
Yeah, Saldana's very comfortable on the feet, and you can see there he's trying to get the timing down of Stony Stewart. Stoney throws a punch, Saldana throws a kick. Stewart throws a kick, Saldana throws a 1-2 combination punch. So, great job by both these fighters. They're really mixing it up and showing the well-rounded training that they've got from their camps.
Stony Stewart shoots in again.
Get your hips
Saldana
back.
sprawling, trying to get up.
Get up.
Needs to pick that single leg up. Stoney really needs to get this fight to the ground, Josh. He's taking a lot of strikes on his feet, a lot of counter punching. He's a step behind on his feet. He's doing a good job getting this fight on the ground. Great takedown defense by Luis. Right back up. That takes a lot of power out of the fighter. It takes a lot of energy for us wrestlers to take those guys down. If you keep popping up like that, you can
nice
really
knee
wear us
by,
out.
Stony Stewart.
Fight his
Wow.
hand. Let go of his head. Fight his hand.
And you hear Josh Neer telling Saldana to let go of the head and fight his hands.
Don't do it yet. Don't do it yet.
And if you're going to listen to anybody, you definitely listen to Josh Neer.
You're exactly
Two
right,
hands
Marcus.
Yeah,
on it.
true veteran of the game. Has been around for the last 10 years. Has the most experience of most people in the Midwest. And not only is he a great fighter, but he's a great coach.
Stony Stewart looks like he's about to take Saldana's back.
He's not in bad position here. He's doing really good at hand control. He's not moving until he has hand control. As soon as he hit the mat, he went for hand control. You can't lock up that hook. You can't really go for any submission when he's got that good hand control.
Stony Stewart takes him down again. Stony Stewart relentless on that takedown.
Yeah, that's exactly where he wants the fight to go. He doesn't want to take his chances with Saldana on the feet. Saldana throwing a lot of strikes, and he's landed most of what he's attempted to throw. So, Stony Stewart definitely more comfortable on the ground.
Luis's arms are really sharp. You can tell his elbows, his forearms are really sharp. He's really doing good setting up those elbows from the bottom.
Push his head up and use it again.
Stoney's really got to watch out not to get cut from the bottom there. He needs to protect himself a little more.
Is this the position Stony Stewart wants to stay in the full mount of? But Luis Saldana will eventually try to, as you'd always try to work toward a mount position.
He doesn't. He wants to pass right now. He does not want to stay in that guard and take the abuse. There's no submissions, nothing he can do except some light ground and pound here. He's got to clear those hips, get to side control, get to mount, do some damage.
All right, round 2 in the books. Round 3 coming up, but first we'll check some. Oh, first let me ask you, gentlemen, what do you tell each man during the break in the rounds here?
I don't. Neither one of these guys is losing, per se on the judge's scorecard. So you don't abandon the game plan. It's, obviously Saldana's game plan is to keep it on the feet. So if you're Josh Neer, you're saying, hey, keep it on the feet, watch for the shot, pick your shots, throw more punches, less kicks. If you're Stony Stewart's corner, you're saying, hey, you're doing great on the ground, keep it on the ground.
All right, Rick, talk us through some of the action from the second round here between Stony Stewart and Luis Saldana.
Like I said, Stoney's he's not throwing crisp shots. Luis is very good at counter punching. He knows his range now. He's setting up those combinations. Great head kicks. Good 2-3 combination there. He's really picking him off on his feet. He's patient. He's cutting great angles. This is a great fight, guys.
Round 2 in the books. Round 3 action about to begin as the referee closes the cage door. Round 3 action between Luis Saldana in the black and white shorts with red lettering, and we have Stony Stewart in the black and white shorts with the knee wrap on his right leg. Nice attempt at a high kick by Stewart.
Good head movement. He's coming out with head movement. I think Josh probably told him to watch out for those head kicks. He needs to straighten them punches out. That right hook is not going to land on someone as good a stand-up as Luis has.
Attempted a takedown by Stony Stewart. Oh, nice stomach
Oh,
kick
good
by him.
body kick,
Wow.
John.
He's in
Knocked
trouble.
all the wind out of him there, Marcus.
He's in trouble. Saldana just,
Wow, and Saldana was like a shark in the water when they get a taste of blood.
There he goes.
Now he's got him out.
Relentless on that attack from
Gets him
Stony
out. He's
Stewart.
got both hooks in, John.
Uh-oh, Stewart is in big trouble here.
I don't know if Stoney still can get his breath back, Marcus.
That was a heavy kick to the stomach that started it all.
Great position here. Matt Cook's really warning him. Bottom man's got to start doing something.
Keep your hands behind him.
He's got a tight body lock. If he gets that body lock, I think he should probably just posture up and strike and end the fight from there.
You're right, because he's got to be still wounded from that kick to the stomach that started the whole
That body shot was definitely the fight changer. That was definitely the shift in momentum in the favor of Luis Saldana.
And Stoney did the exact right thing. Stoney shot
man.
from too far out. He pulled guard when he thought he was in trouble and just got hot with that kick. This is a deep arm bar. Doing a good job stepping over, defending
Sure
it.
did. Wow. Stony Stewart showing a lot of heart in there. Great reversal.
Wow, great action in the third round. Both these guys showing that they want the win and they don't want to let it go to the judges' scorecard. Great flurry there by Saldana. He didn't waste any time. When he saw that he had Stewart hurt, he jumped on the opportunity. To Stoney Stewart's credit, he never gave up. He never rolled over, and now he's back into a good position to finish out the round.
Yes, just moments ago I'm thinking Saldana's going to end this. Now Stoney Stewart is inside mount, preparing to do what he can do, Rick.
You're right. These guys are fighting like this is the first round. These guys have beat the heck out of each other. This is the third round, guys, and they're still going this hard. Both of them want to end this fight.
He got bucked off. Wow. And now it looks like, and he does have Saldana's back, Stoney Stewart.
Got his hooks in. That's a really good wrestler, and Stoney on top, you're getting his hooks in.
Wow. He had full mount for a moment, Stoney Stewart did, but he was bucked off by Luis Saldana.
And he's getting that choke deep. I can't tell if it's under his chin. It's right at his chin. He's going for more of a crush there. He's doing a good job fighting that top hand.
Yes, he is.
15 seconds left in the fight. Saldana doing a good job of fighting the hands, and it looks like it may be under the chin now.
It is. It just slipped it, John.
Wow.
He's stretching out. He's in good position there again. Man.
Wow, amazing back and forth action. Fight of the night so far.
So far, it sure has been. That was a nice ending to the third round. Those men, you know, I was about to call it for Luis Saldana, thinking he was going to put Stoney Stewart out, but Stewart hung in there. Wow. We're going to look at some highlights, gentlemen. Talk us through this. Man,
here comes this body kick. Big axe kick coming down. He just
right in the solar plex.
Yep.
Holy cow. He still hasn't taken a breath yet. He's still fighting on just instinct there.
You saw that body shot take the wind right out of Stoney Stewart. And there you see Saldana on top, delivering hammer fists and punches and doing anything he can in an attempt to end that fight, but it didn't work. And there you see Stoney Stewart taking advantage toward the end of the round, John.
Both of them showed great heart and soul in this fight, but what do you expect? We got Josh Henry and Josh Neer in the cage with them. Who could expect anything else from those two warriors?
Exactly. Both men coming from good camps, as we mentioned before the beginning of this bout. And now let's go on up to our cage side announcer, Shaun T, to call the official end to this great fight. Shaun T, take it away.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, give it up to both fighters. After 3 hard-fought rounds, we have ourselves a unanimous decision. Your winner, Luis Saldana!
There you have it. It was an outstanding fight. Luis Saldana, the unanimous decision winner. We're back with more on MCC 30 Thanksgiving Throwdown. After this, stay with us. MCC 30 Thanksgiving Throwdown coming up. Mike Graham taking on Nick Rouse, a welterweight battle between two men who are ready to get in the ring and ready to rock for the crowd here tonight. But our two co-main events, it is the welterweight championship. Andy Branson defending his MCC welterweight title against Justin DeMoney. This is going to be a crowd pleaser as well. Our other co-main event, the middleweight champion Elvis Mutapcic taking on Joshua Sayin. This should be another barn burner of a battle. Stick around, MCC 30 with Rouse Graham coming up. Stay with us. Welcome back to Hy-Vee Hall. I'm Marcus McIntosh with the Hurricane John Halverson and the lawman Rick Tasler. 3 fights in the books, gentlemen, and the last fight was an impressive one.
Oh man, Luis Saldana taking on Stoney Stewart, handing him the first loss of his mixed martial arts career, and that fight did not disappoint. I could watch that over and over again.
You and me both. Good amateur fighters. John and I were talking during the break. Both of them should make their pro debut in about 3 or 4 more fights. Man, I would pay good money to watch that fight again.
All right, let's talk about the tail of the tape for the next fight coming up, John.
All right, we got Matt Rauter making his MCC debut. He stands 5 foot 10 inches tall. He weighed in at 155 pounds, a freestyle fighter with a 2-0 record, taking on Brody J, 155 pound, 6 foot tall boxer and wrestler with a 7-3 record.
Let's go on up to our cage side announcer, Shaun T, to officially introduce the fighters. Shaun T.
All right, MCC fans, we are ready for our next bout. It's going to be 3 rounds in the MCC lightweight division. Brought to us by our friends at Bebop's, voted Des Moines' best burger year after year. Come taste for yourself, as well as the Des Moines Jiu-Jitsu Academy, Des Moines' premier training facility. Whether you are a serious competitor or a recreational fan, come out to the Des Moines Jiu-Jitsu Academy. They have a program for you. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, this mixed martial artist stands 5 feet, 10 inches tall, weighing in at 155 pounds. Fighting out of Knoxville, Iowa, with a record of 2 wins with no losses, this is Matt Ryder. And across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, this mixed martial artist stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 155 pounds. Fighting out of Creston, Iowa, with a record of 7 wins with 3 losses, this is Brody J.
There you have it, Brody J. He is wearing the black shorts. Matt Ryder in the white shorts with black trim and red lettering. Gentlemen, what can we expect from this fight?
I love watching Brody J fight because every punch he throws, he tries to take his opponent's head off. He's got the nickname the Tooth Fairy. I mean, with a nickname like that, you know he swings for the fences. Both guys actually wrestlers, so, you know, Marcus, we'll probably see 3 rounds of stand-up.
Oh, nice right hand. A Superman punch by Ryder. Wow. Now they're swinging.
They are. They both have wrestling backgrounds, but they told me in the back they're swinging for the fences.
They sure are. That Superman punch by Ryder landed on the mark. Brody J holding those hands a little bit low. Nice leg kick by Ryder. Another one.
And he's eating them. Once again, coming from the Henry camp, he's used to seeing those kicks coming at him.
Matt Ryder making his MCC debut. Undefeated young fighter here.
Knee by Ryder.
But he comes with a lot of recommendations. So he's game. He's in there. He's given Brody J a good battle.
If you didn't know wrestling there, Brody J just hit a great over and under throw. Matt shrugged that thing right off and stayed on his feet. That took a lot of core strength and balance right there, John.
That's right. Ryder looks very well put together. Both men in very good shape for this bout tonight.
I'm kind of anxious to see if this fight would go to the ground. Brody J is a very well-rounded fighter, and he does like to stay on his feet. He told me he went and trained with Brian Green. Love that guy or hate that guy. My opinion, one of the best leg lockers in the Midwest.
Away from the cage. Lower your hips.
Definitely one tough fighter in the cage as well.
Put him up. Put him on the bench. Circle him up. Double unders.
This is an exciting chess match so far, John. They're both baiting each other. They're both very patient, doing a good job pummeling in, looking for big shots.
Whoa!
Wow,
Nice
big
right
shot
hand.
by Matt Ryder right there. And a big counter punch by Brody J.
Whoa!
Wow, they are swinging.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a fight.
Yes, we
cow.
do. Man.
Brody J just shook that punch off. I'd have been sleeping, John. He shook that off like nothing. His right ear hit his shoulder so hard, well, I think it woke him up when he hit his shoulder.
Oh, it sure did, because it definitely sparked the fire in him. Nice elbow by Brody J right there.
Looking for a Kimura or a straight arm bar there. He doesn't have it high enough on his elbow. He does a good job of defending it.
All right, both men back in the center of the cage, ready to swing for the fences again. Oh, leg kick, but
Watch it.
Almost put himself in a guillotine there. He sneaks back out of that, Marcus.
Get your double unders.
he sure did. That could have been trouble.
They're both very good defensive fighters. They know where they are in the cage. They know what the other guy's looking for, and they're very good at defensive. Head kick just missed there.
You know, I'll tell you what, by the end of the night, it's going to be hard to pick a fight of the night, because the last two, I'll tell you what, man, you could watch this over and over. This is exactly what the fight fans have come to expect from MCC, and a great job to the matchmaker, Ryan Haas, for setting up these fights.
You better believe it. A great job setting up these fights. Both men looking a little winded toward the end of that round. You can tell both men had their mouth open, just breathing a little bit heavy, and we'll see what's going on in the next round. But let's look at some of the big shots from the first round. Wow, that Superman punch.
Yeah, right off the bat, Matt Ryder let Brody J know, hey, I'm here to fight, and you want to stand up and strike, I'll stand up and strike with you.
There's that big right hand. I think he needs to throw more than that big right hand. He's had him hurt a couple times. If he throws more combinations here, John, I think he'd be more successful.
Yeah, Brody's got a lot of power in his punches, but like you said, he just needs to do a good job with setting those up. You know, throw out some jabs, throw more than a 2-punch combination, because if you miss with those big hooks, those power shots, you do get winded.
You really
and that's evident right now with you know, both fighters showing a little, not wear as far as damage, but wear in the cardio department.
Right.
Marcus, as you said, Mr. Haas did such a good job of setting this up. Right here in front of me, the Warrior Spirit Award. I don't know how people are going to pick this so far, and we're only on our 4th fight.
Exactly. You can give it to a number of people who took to the cage tonight. If this is indicative of what's going to come up later in the fights, they just seem to keep getting better and better and better as the night wears on. Wow. I can't wait for the end of this night. But I'm not done watching this one. So let's get to round 2 action between our men in the cage, Matt Ryder, who's wearing the white trunks with black trim and red lettering, Brody J in the black shorts. Round 2 action. If it's anything like the first, more fireworks can be expected. Whoa. Both men swinging for the fences from the very onset.
Brody's looking for that big punch, John, but if you notice, when he's throwing those leg kicks and when he's throwing them punches, he's really dropping his hands. Does he have to watch for them counter punches there, or is his chin good enough that, you know, if he gets hit again with that one, does he think he's not going to be able to get knocked out there?
Well, you know, Rick, with 4-ounce gloves, nobody's chin's good enough. You know, any shot thrown can knock you out at any time. You know, but you know, both fighters need to watch for the counter punch, because both fighters are throwing some big counter punches, just like you saw there. You know, Brody J just swinging for the fences like we talked about over and over. Every punch that he throws is a power punch.
Oh, good hit kick, Marcus.
Yes.
Good setup.
Punch.
He finally did. He threw that big punch, and he followed it up immediately with a switch kick.
But it did not seem to affect Ryder that much.
I think it affected him more than he's showing. He's just got a lot of heart. He's winking at him right there. That's what I do. If someone gives me a big shot in practice, I'll nod my head, wink at him, showing him, yeah, I'm hurt.
Oh, that was a tough punch and kick combination right there. Let's see if both men can keep this up.
He's got a good mouse below his left eye forming there, does Matt. Let's see if that affects him. He's kind of grimacing on that side.
Going for the takedown, Matt Ryder, and he gets it.
Quick to take the fight to the ground after that. You don't want to stand up and play Russian roulette after taking one of those.
You're exactly right. That was a good takedown, just kind of a bully takedown. Head in the center and just drove straight through. In wrestling, I call it the bully takedown, and he did. Brody didn't have anything for it. Now let's see what he does off his back.
What does Brody J have to do off his back to be successful here, or to get up?
He needs to do that. He needs to use more of that Mutapcic buck and roll. He needs to get out of that side position. Swim for guard, swim for guard. If you notice, that left leg of his is taking some good abuse from those kicks. He's got some good welts there on his leg.
John, what does Ryder have to do from this top position, or side control rather, to end this fight or continue to do more damage?
Well, he needs to keep it. He needs to stay exactly where he is. Keep his knees tight to the hips of Brody J, so that Brody J can't turn in and get his guard. But right there, I mean, he's only got 40 seconds left in the second round, so he's going to be content to just stay there and ride it out and leave that impression in the judge's mind of being on top with the round end.
Wow, look at that reversal by Brody J, Rick.
And that was just a straight bench press. Brody just used power. He got his hips a little high, and he just bench pressed him off him. Let's see what he does on his feet, if he wants to push off and strike from here, if he's looking for a takedown himself.
Look at him land some knees and some right hands. Wow. Whoa.
A lot of dirty boxing on the inside there.
Brody J with that hold and swing with the right hand was connected.
I think that kick took a lot more out of Matt than we think. I think it really drained him. That eye's really bothering him.
All right, round 2 in the books. Both men mouths wide open. Brody J, the mouth guard in and out of his mouth at times during the second round. Both men. Wow, this is good action. Very good action, gentlemen.
This is where it comes down to the heart and what you did in preparation for this fight. This is all the stuff that's not glamorous. This is all the miles that you ran.
Right there, Rick.
All the time that you spent on the heavy bag, all the drills, everything. The third round is where that shows.
You're exactly right. That was a good combination, Marcus. He threw the Superman punch. He was too far out, but immediately when his feet hit the ground, he threw that switch kick, and it landed. It just got him with his feet. If that had been a little deeper, I think Matt would have went to sleep, but he got it a little short. Good dirty boxing here on the inside. Big right hand. Matt ties him up there at the end.
If you're Brian Green, what are you telling Brody J, Rick?
You know, Brian's a great ground fighter, but he likes to stand up. He's trying to stay to the outside. He knows he's got the fresher fighter here. I think he's probably going to tell him to take him down and go for some ground and pound. What do you think, John?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think he's going to, you know, he's giving him the encouragement right now. You know, Brody kind of had his head hung. I know that they're tired, and Brian's probably, you know, not only trying to give him a game plan, but he's probably trying to give him some inspiration. You know, you've got one more round, finish strong. Don't get taken down. Don't get put on your back. You know, go out there and throw good punches. Pick your punches.
Brody J going for the takedown right there.
Keeps his head in the center there. He's looking, not looking for a choke, just looking to maybe pummel out of there and defend. He can't sprawl from there. Why you backed up against the cage there, John? He dug a good underhook this side.
The Ryder looking to just keep Brody J away from him. He doesn't want to get pinned up against the fence.
Brody really needs to keep his head out of there. Matt was waiting to throw that knee, and Brody just came back out of there luckily.
Nice body kick, or leg kick rather, from Ryder.
That leg kick of Brody is just destroyed. You see him, he's kind of limping when he's hopping on it and stuff like that. He's really going to be hurting in the morning on that leg.
Wild right hand by Brody J, and Ryder taken to the ground. In half guard right there. Matt Ryder on top of Brody J.
Brody really needs to explode from here. He needs to get this fight back on his feet or get back on top. I don't know about the first 2 rounds. I think it's probably 1-1. If he rides this fight out, I think Matt can win this fight. Brody's got to get active. He's got to get back to guard, and he's got to get back to his feet.
Exactly. That's the same thing that I was thinking, Rick. You know, the fight's too close. You know, you can't ride out the 3rd round. When there's been that much action, both fighters have landed some damaging strikes. Both fighters have traded good positions. You just can't ride out the 3rd round. I don't care if you're on top, if you're on bottom. If you're on top, you need to stay active. You really need to show that you're winning that fight.
You really do.
And it looks like Ryder heard you. He immediately started throwing a couple hammer fists down to Brody J's face.
He did. Oh, a good knee there, Marcus. That really takes the wind out of you.
Brody J trying to get up. We'll see if he can.
Back to that front headlock position.
Can Ryder submit Brody J from there?
You know he can if he got Brody's head back to the center. It'd be a lot tighter there. He's kind of just got a gable lock choke underneath there. I think Brody can probably breathe okay. If he got his head back in the center there, right on his sternum, he can probably submit him there. But
You gotta get up right now!
Brody did a good job bailing that, going back to guard, getting a breath of air here, and he, like John said, he's got to get right back to work.
Yeah, and you can hear the corner of Brody J pleading with him. You got to get back. You got to get back to your feet. You got to get up right now. There's 30 seconds left in the fight. It's a close fight, but right now Brody J is not scoring any points off his back.
As we showed in the first fight there, the second fight, you cannot leave this to the judges. You gotta finish your fight. You just don't know what it's gonna do. Getting some big hammer fists here. Matt looked like he's in really good shape. I wouldn't want to be getting hit by them hammer fists right now.
I wouldn't either. With 7 seconds left, the referee stands him up. Wow. And Ryder was definitely trying to end that fight strong. Great fight by both these young men. Great action. This was incredible. And, you know, I hate to call this one because I've been wrong, you know. So, I'm not a referee, so I'm just looking for what's entertaining, you know, who I think is winning. You know, a lot of good reversals in there. A lot of good reversals when both men were on the ground. So at this point, I'm just going to wait for the referees to make their decision. I don't want to venture a guess because I'm probably going to be wrong. Wow.
Yeah, action in the very first round. Ryder coming out strong just with that Superman punch. You know, that big kick by Brody J in the second, and then you see Matt Ryder trying to land something impressive as the time runs out in the 3rd round. Great action. Fight of the night so far. These guys went out there and put it all on the line. Excellent debut for Matt Ryder.
It sure was.
Excellent performance for Brody J. It'll be interesting to see how the judges score this one.
Very interesting. Rick, this one was too close to call. I don't know which way you go on this one.
Man, I'm not going to pick. Like John said, this was Matt Ryder's virgin, appearance in MCC. That boy's going to be back. He showed lots of heart. So he's a very well-rounded fighter in very good shape. He gave Brody J everything he could handle tonight.
He sure did. Between rounds, do you ever want to tell a fighter that he's winning or that he's losing or that, this is what you need to do, you're winning this fight, just take care of business? Do you ever want to let a fighter know those certain things as they're going through this?
Well, I think it's good to be, as a corner guy, it's good to be honest with your fighter. If your fighter has lost both the first and the second round convincingly, yeah, you got to put that desperation, you got to put a little fire into their butt, Marcus. You got to say, listen, you lost the first 2 rounds. You need to go out there and finish this one. But, if you're winning, you don't want to let your fighter sit back and rest on his laurels. You have to say, hey, you're probably up on the scorecard, but you need to work to finish the fight. Don't let it go to the judges.
All right. Speaking of the judges, let's go to our cage announcer, Sean T, to call the official end to the fight.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 hard-fought rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge number 1 scores the bout, 28-29, Ryder. Judge number 2 scores the bout, 29-28, Jay. Judge number 3 scores the bout, 28-29. Your winner, give it up for Matt Ryder.
There you have it, Matt Ryder, a split decision victor over Brody J. We're back with much more on Thanksgiving Throwdown MCC 30. Stick around, more action coming up after the break. Welcome back to MCC 30 Thanksgiving Throwdown. We are all set for our next bout of the night. This should be a barn burner as well, but let's look at the end of the last fight.
The last fight was one of the greatest fights that I've seen in a long time. Matt Ryder making his MCC debut, taking on a very tough Brody J. But in the end, it was Matt Ryder pulling out the split decision victory.
Man, these guys are just amateur fighters so far. Full-time, you know, they have full-time jobs and train a couple hours a night. And look at the heart these guys are showing.
Exactly.
Man, you guys got a deep pit at MCC for fighters to pick from coming up, John.
Absolutely.
They sure do. Get ready for our next bout of the night, featuring 2 men stepping into the cage right now. We have our second fighter already in the ring. Is Jeremy Marker. He's in the black shorts, the black spandex. There you see Sean McDermott in the black looser shorts. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape.
Jeremy Marker, 5'11" tall. He is a 165-pound striker with a perfect 3-0 record, taking on Superman Sean McDermott, 5'7" tall, 165-pound striker and jiu-jitsu practitioner with a 3-1 mixed martial arts record.
Let's go inside the cage. The cage set announcer Sean T to call the official introduction of the fighters.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this next bout is going to be 3 rounds in an MCC catchweight bout. Brought to you by Iowa Health System, providing exceptional care with 7 hospitals and over 450 doctors. Better care, more lives saved, higher patient satisfaction. As well as by Maximized Life Chiropractic, affordable family care specialized in all aspects of chiropractic service. Visit him on the web at maxlifeiowa.com. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, this mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 165 pounds, fighting out of Adel, Iowa, with a record of 3 wins with no losses. This is Jeremy Marker. And his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 7 inches tall. He weighed in at 165 pounds, fighting out of Des Moines, Iowa, with a record of 3 wins with 1 loss. This is Sean Super McDermott.
There you have it, Sean McDermott in the black shorts, the looser shorts, and Jeremy Marker in the tighter black shorts. Both men ready to get it on. Gentlemen, you know both of these men very well, right?
Both of these guys are very good friends of both myself and Rick, so it's kind of tough, you know, for us to watch these guys punch each other in the face, but you know, it's also exciting at the same time.
It really is. Their styles kind of contrast, but they're both in and out of the cage. They're both great guys.
Nice.
Both have full-time jobs. They're both great dads. They do this for the love and soul of the fighting ability. Jeremy's really been training hard with Justin Morrison and Johnny Case, both MCC veterans. Of course, Precision Combat's where Sean's been training some of the best guys in MCC.
Nice leg kicks exchanged by both men. Wow.
Looking for a takedown early. Good throw by Sean. Straight to mount. Straight to mount, John.
Not a good position for Marker, right, Rick?
It really isn't. It was kind of a loose throw by Sean into the mount position. Jeremy did a good job bucking and rolling. Sean's back in the side control. He's in a better position here, but Jeremy's really got to get busy here.
John, what does McDermott need to do here to bring it into the fight or take advantage of
he's trying to isolate an arm, you know, is what he's trying to do, and now he's working to the back. But Marker needs to distance himself. You know, I think Marker's a little more comfortable on his feet. You know, that's where he wanted to dictate the fight at. Sean McDermott working a lot on his stand-up, but you know, the ground is where he feels that he has the advantage.
He's trying to stick in that rear naked.
That choke's fairly deep. Jeremy's doing a good job of fighting that top hand.
And McDermott has his hooks in.
Sean's got some very good jiu-jitsu on the ground, rolling with the guys at precision there.
He's doing a good job fighting it off thus far. I can't tell whether that McDermott has his arm under the chin of Marker.
I don't think it's that deep. I think it's more in a crush position there, but like I said, those hurt.
Now
there he's got it there, John. That's deep.
And he's got the hooks in.
Good rear naked choke finish for Sean. Jeremy did a good job fighting it, but once he gave up his chin, it was either tap or go to sleep.
And it was sunk in very deep at that point. Sean McDermott pretty happy, and they're both, man, that's the sportsmanship of this sport. They shake hands, they hug. You know, you're disappointed with the loss, but hey, you know, you live to fight another day, and that's what I believe this is all about. Let's talk about the final moments of this fight, gentlemen.
Right there, Sean had the gable grip rear naked, but he was able to buck it up underneath his chin and really switch to figure four that arm, and it was deep. Marker had no other where to go other than give up the tap.
Great transition by Sean. He was patient on the back. He didn't get in a hurry. Had his hooks in, had back control. He knew he wasn't going anywhere. Sunk that rear naked. Jeremy had nothing to do but tap.
All right, let's go on up to cage side announcer Sean T to call the official end to the fight.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, your winner, 1 minute 59 seconds in round number 1 by rear naked choke, Sean Super McDermott.
Hey, there you have it, Sean McDermott, winner by tap out in the first round. MCC 30, the Thanksgiving Throwdown continues. More action coming your way in just a minute. Marcus McIntosh here with the Hurricane John Halverson and the lawman Rick Tazza. We're back with more action in just moments.
Impressive in there, man. I'm really proud of you. What was your game plan coming in this fight tonight?
Welcome back to MCC 30 Thanksgiving Throwdown inside Hy-Vee Hall in Des Moines, Iowa. I'm Marcus McIntosh with the Hurricane John Halverson and the lawman Rick Tazler. Gentlemen, 5 fights in the books. It's been a great night. We're going to see some action for those. You two want to talk us through some of the action?
Here we have Thomas Olafson taking on Chad Vandermark. This was somewhat of a swing fest in the beginning of the fight until it hit the ground, and then it was all Chad Vandermark for the win. Next up on the card, it was Mitch Parker taking on Jose Colon. Great back and forth fight, but Parker getting the split decision rather. Next up, Stoney Stewart, Luis Saldana, fight of the night candidate. Alongside with this one right here, Brody J and Matt Ryder. Matt Ryder winning his MCC debut. And then we have Sean Super McDermott taking on Jeremy Marker in the lone submission of the night. Sean McDermott winning with a rear naked choke in round number 1.
Rick, talk about some of the action so far. Has this been a great night or what?
Man, we've had some great fights tonight. There has not been a bad fight on the card, and like you said, this is an undercard amateur fight. Great fighters, but nothing compared to what we have coming up.
Oh, I can't wait to see more. And then once again, John, you mentioned it. We have to thank Ryan Haas, matchmaker for MCC. These are incredible matches put together, and our next one, I'm sure, is going to be just as good as the other fights.
That's right. Mr. Spartan Strength himself, Nick 300 Rouse, stepping back into the cage to take on a more experienced Mike Graham.
All right, as Nick Rouse steps into the cage, Mike Graham is in the cage right now. He's wearing white shorts with black trim. Nick Rouse getting the final instructions, a little Vaseline put on his face by MCC welterweight champion Andy Branson, who's going to fight a little bit later tonight. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape, gentlemen.
All right, Mike Graham comes into the cage, 170 pounds. He is a 5'9" freestyle wrestler with a record of 11 wins, 7 losses, and 1 draw, taking on Nick 300 Rouse. 5'10", 170 pounds wrestler with a perfect 2-0 mixed martial arts record.
As a preview to the fight, to the MCC 30 Thanksgiving Throwdown, Nick Rouse was one of the gentlemen we interviewed on KCCI on the New News, and he looks intimidating. He scares me just by looking at him, and he was looking ready to cut some weight, and he's looking mean and lean and ready to go. So let's go to cage announcer Sean T for the official introduction of the fighters.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is going to be 3 rounds in the MCC lightweight division. Brought to you by Insanity Fightwear, the official clothing sponsor of the MCC. Be sure to visit the cage. Be sure to visit Insanity Fightwear booth to pick up the hottest gear in or outside of the cage. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, this mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Creston, Iowa, with a record of 11 wins with 7 losses. This is Mike Ya Lion Graham. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 10 inches tall. He weighed in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Des Moines, Iowa with a record of 2 wins and no losses. This is Nick 300 Rouse.
Nick Rouse, a crowd favorite in the black and red shorts. Mike Graham in the white shorts with black trim. And gentlemen, I want to let you both know before this gets underway, I let Nick Rouse borrow my chest and arms for this fight tonight. He has to give them back. They're only on loan. He is well put together.
He certainly is.
I tell you, Nick's a new guy coming in the game with only 2 fights. Every elite fighter in MCC goes to this man for their conditioning. He will not get tired.
No, Nick Rouse is the man behind the man. If you
he's catching a flurry right there.
He's getting lit up there.
Yes, he is.
He's hurt. He's hurt.
Wow.
Bad.
And it's over. Nick Rouse is hurt. He's very stunned.
I did not even see that coming, Marcus. We
There
need
was
to
a flurry. A quick flurry. A quick flurry, fast hands by Mike Graham put an end to the fight in the first round. Referee Thomas Maston stepped in quickly. Nick Rouse did look like he was stunned, did look dazed. He was grabbing and reaching, tried to defend himself. Let's take a look at some of that action.
got to take another look at that. Looks like Graham landed a couple shots there, and it caught him. Just caught him on the button and put Nick Rouse out. Wow, that.
He did. Nick had his hands up, but those punches were coming through, and they were clean punches. Every one of them, whether in the jaw or temple, would take the equilibrium right out of you. He hit the ground. Good stop. He was not defending himself.
Looking at it again, yes, it was definitely a good stop. Let's go on up to bring it out to Shaun T.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, 18 seconds of the first round. Your winner by knockout, Mike "Ya Lion" Graham.
All right, there you have it. Mike Graham, TKO first round. Back with much more on MCC 30 Thanksgiving Throwdown. The action is hot, fast, and furious. We continue with more after the break. Stick around, more action coming your way. Welcome back to MCC 30 Thanksgiving Throwdown inside Hy-Vee Hall in Des Moines. Along with Hurricane John Halverson and the lawman Rick Towser, I'm Marcus McIntosh. You're looking at the crowd packed in here to Hy-Vee Hall. And let's talk about our last fight, because apparently Mike Graham was double parked outside in the loading zone because he got it done quick.
He didn't waste any time, coming in there throwing hands, and caught Nick right on the chin and turned his lights off.
Good stoppage by referee Tommy Masson. Nick is as tough as a bull, but he gave him every chance to get up, and it was just he took too many clean shots there.
He sure did, Rick. I definitely agree that it was a good stop by the referee in that battle. Now we're getting set for the trilogy. Dean Bradley against Mike Minivan Van Meer. Number 3. Oh, I can't wait. Dean Bradley won a decision earlier in the year, and then at the trials over the summer, Mike Van Meer won the decision. I want a knockout.
Yeah.
Both of them say that they're not going to let it go to the judge's decision. The first fight, Dean Bradley dominated. The second fight, Dean Bradley got dominated. Both of them have kind of switched up their fight camps, did some training with some different people, kind of took a different approach to the fight game. And, both of them are predicting second round submission, so that's kind of interesting.
All right, let's talk to the tail of the tape. John, you want to talk into this?
Dean Bradley, 5'8", 210-pound wrestler with a 4-3 professional record, taking on the minivan, Mike Van Meer, 5'5", 210-pound ground and pound specialist with, get this, a 51-20 professional mixed martial arts record.
71 fights, time to get it on. Let's go on up the cage and out to Shaun T to officially introduce the fighters. Shaun.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this next bout is going to be 3 rounds in an MCC catchweight bout. Brought to us by our friends at Mediacom. Check out replays of MCC events, behind-the-scenes specials, as well as other great sporting events on MC22, the Connections channel. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, this mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 210 pounds, fighting out of Des Moines, Iowa, holding a record of 4 wins and 3 losses. This is Mean Dean Bradley. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 5 inches tall, weighing in at 210 pounds, fighting out of Des Moines, Iowa, with a record of 51 wins and 20 losses. This is Mike Minivan Van Meer.
All right, the minivan definitely a crowd favorite. You have the minivan in red shorts, rather, Mike Van Meer, and Dean Bradley also wearing red shorts. We'll see what happens. Rick, I'm expecting fireworks. What about you?
I am too. Both of these guys are high energetic. They both got the same body type. I mean, you look at these two guys and you think they should be 145-pound fighters.
Exactly.
But they've got a 220-pound base. There's a lot of power in these small guys. Let's see what they can do.
All right, let's get it on. Let's see what these two men are going to do tonight.
Marcus, I've got $100 on the short,
Nice
stocky
leg
one in red shorts.
I'm not going to cover that bet.
That's the only safe bet you can have in MMA
Nice
right
leg
there,
kick
Josh.
by Van Meer.
They're looking to mix it up. I talked to Dean earlier. Dean said he's been working a lot on his stand-up, but he wants to get this fight to the ground.
Nice left hand by Van Meer.
And ground and pound him. Mike is setting up some single shots. He's been training really hard with Ronnie Britt, so both of them pushed each other for this fight.
And the interesting thing, both of these guys, they like the slow pace, the more methodical approach, but given the opportunity, they explode.
Yes, they do. Yes, they definitely explode. Dean Bradley with Mike Van Meer pinned up against the cage.
Looking for a hip toss there, kind of looks like, John.
Exactly, and in the first fight, Dean Bradley used a lot of judo throws, hip tosses to get Van Meer to the ground and pound out that unanimous decision.
I think that's probably going to be his game plan here, too. He's looking at it. Minivan actually went for a throw there, just a little hip throw. I think that's where Dean's more comfortable on it, on the ground. We'll see what happens. Minivan's comfortable everywhere, so.
Minivan definitely a well-rounded fighter, but he's pressed up against the cage right now by Dean Bradley.
Referee imploring them to get to work. Bradley looking for that throw again.
Yep.
Minivan's doing a good job underhooking that side and going to that tight waist. Every time Dean will open his hips to get that throw, Van Meer's doing a good job of body locking him to defend that throw.
Van Meer with a foot stomp right there.
Oh, those foot stomps hurt.
That's what he's known for. That's his signature move right there. That and the rolling toe hold, which coincidentally he said that if given the opportunity, he's going to throw one.
Okay. Both men separated. Now let's see them swing for the fences. Both men definitely hit hard. Nice leg kick by Van Meer.
Good kicks. Good game plan by Van Meer. Take those legs away from the wrestler. And man, he's kicked him both legs, and he's hurt both of his legs already.
Dean Bradley throwing out some lazy left jabs. Another leg kick by Van Meer. Both men swinging. Van Meer definitely the crowd favorite. But
how can you not like a 5'5", 220-pound fighter? I mean, he's great, and he is so tough. I mean, he will fight anybody.
I know I've mentioned Van Meer's weight many times on the broadcast, but I always follow that up with he's one tough man.
Me too. I'm the same way. Like I said, he should be a 55-pound fighter, but he's not scared of a 355-pound fighter.
No, he's not. He will step in there and give it as good as he gets.
Yes, he will.
Nice leg kicks by Van Meer. That's going to pay off and come later rounds.
He's dedicating to those leg kicks, John. He's really digging his shin in those legs.
Dean needs to check those because, the longer the fight goes, that's when they're going to really start to wear. And they're going to take a lot of toll on him, especially when he goes to shoot.
He does. I've had several people ask me about leg kicks, and I always describe those as a video game. Every time you get kicked in the leg, it's like your power bar going down a little bit. Us wrestlers don't like that because I cannot explode with my shot with my legs hurting like that. Dean's coming with his hands down looking for a big right hand.
But Dean doesn't throw a lot of punches, but when he does throw punches, they're hard punches.
Good jumping knee there by Dean.
Let's see if these men can keep this pace up. About a minute left in the first round.
I don't know who's got this first round. I think it could be won by either fighter in this last minute if they open up.
Those leg kicks by Van Meer are hurting me.
Oh, they are. They are slapping.
Both men being very cautious and measured in their attacks.
They are. They know each other. After 30 minutes of fighting already, and now 35 minutes of fighting, they know what each other's going to do. They both know and trust they have power in each hand and know that the other guy does also.
Kick by Dean Bradley that hit the mark. Body kick. About 30 seconds left in the first round.
Dean told me before the fight he was going to soften up Van Meer's body. He said he's got a soft body. He said he's been working on a lot of body shots and stuff at precision to make it easier to take him down. He really hasn't been working the body as much as he said he was going to.
Well, Van Meer's not the only one with a soft body in the cage right now. they both fit that bill.
I see 3 of them. I mean, wait a minute. Back that up, John.
End of round 1 with Bradley pressed up against the cage by Van Meer.
All right, so that officially marks 7 rounds in the books.
7 rounds for Mean Dean and the minivan against each other. Both men wearing black shorts. Now, Rick, what are you telling Mike Van Meer if you're Danny Anderson in his corner?
Tell you, Danny Anderson and I think a lot alike. We have a lot of the same background, a lot of the same fight experience. Danny's telling him to be patient like he's being. Dean's picking his shots, and Minivan is too, but he's telling him to be more active, watch for that takedown defense, and land that big right hand.
Here's some highlights from the first round. Of course, the Minivan leg kick, definitely scoring punches. Good knee by Dean Bradley there. Wild punches. Minivan covering up another good knee by Dean Bradley.
Good knees. He's setting up those good combinations, John. He's really reaching for those punches, but he's digging with everything he's throwing.
Yeah, he's worked a lot on his stand-up, up at Precision Combat Training, because he doesn't want to have to rely on his wrestling. He knows that's his bread and butter, but he's got to get the fight to the ground in order to use that. So he's worked a lot of combinations, a lot of knees, and a lot of kicks. So
is that what you're telling Dean Bradley in the corner right now if you're a corner man?
I'm telling Dean Bradley, look, dude, that guy's just kicked you about 37 times. You might want to check one of those.
You can definitely tell from his last fight, John, he has worked with you. He's putting some combinations together and stuff. Jared Taylor's been really working on him hard in their precision. You guys are doing a good job turning him a lot more well-rounded fighter.
Round 2, here we go. Both stocky men in red shorts. Mike Van has the most tattoos out of the two. That's how you tell them apart. Both men swinging.
Dean's really digging in there for that shot.
Nice right hand by Mike Van. Left hand by Van. Knees by Dean Bradley.
Minivan is really good at not taking damage. I've noticed that over the years. He will cover up, and you will throw everything you have at him, and he'll put his hands down and giggle at you and not take any damage. He's a real veteran in the cage there, guys.
Yes, he has 70-some fights. No, that hurt him. I don't think it hit him where he wants people to think it hit him. That was just a nice inside leg kick by Van Meer. Another one. Nice knees by Bradley. The punches aren't doing much damage, but a nice knee by Dean Bradley.
He needs to go to that body more, John. When he backs him up, Minivan's doing such a good job of protecting his head. He needs to get some liver shots in. Don't you think it's slowing down a little bit?
Absolutely, and I can assure you that we've worked a lot on that. I'm a big believer in body shots. They're one of the most effective strikes that a fighter has in their arsenal. When used effectively in mixed martial arts, they're devastating. We've seen a lot of fights stopped with body shots, whether it be a punch or a kick.
They really are. Dean's really slowing down with those leg kicks.
Nice right hand by
have to do something.
Wow. Good knee by Mike Van Meer, the Minivan. Dean Bradley now pressed up against the cage.
Good action so far for the two big guys. I mean, they're mixing it up really well.
They sure are. A little more than 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in round 2. Both men don't look like they're built for 3 rounds, but they can definitely go 3 rounds.
Yeah, you definitely can't judge a book by its cover, because I can assure you that both these guys could put their running shoes on and go out for a 5-mile jog easily.
Those leg kicks are really taking effect. As you've seen that last one to Dean's right leg, he really grimaced.
What I don't like is that Dean Bradley's kind of reaching for those kicks when Mike Van Meer throws them. Van Meer could set up a well-timed head kick off that. You see right there, he did it again. He reached down. You're not gonna block a low leg kick. There he caught one, so he kind of proved me wrong. But 9 times out of 10, that's not a good idea.
Right, he did catch it, John, but he took the full blunt of that force. He didn't catch it until after he got kicked. I think I'd rather have blocked it than took that and then tried to catch it.
Mike Van Meer fighting the takedown by Dean Bradley very well here.
Back into the cage. Get in the cage.
Still fighting that takedown.
Dean needs to waste some energy, and he needs to get this takedown. He needs to get this fight to the ground. His legs are really hurting. He needs to get Minivan down on the ground and inflict some damage, or he could be in trouble in this third round.
And there he gets it to the ground inside mount. Or side control, rather.
He's going to be tough for Minivan to reverse here, John. Minivan's got some good wrestling hips here.
Bradley has his right arm pinned, too.
Yeah, he does. He has him in that crucifix position. Good catch there, Marcus. You can see Mike Van Meer's right arm is pinned on the leg of Dean Bradley, with Bradley kind of having his way. Now you can see Mike Van Meer climbing up with that foot on the cage. That's something that Bradley wants to be wary of as well, because he can push up with that.
He really can. He can buck and roll hard from there, come out the back door just like he just did, John.
He heard you, Rick. He was listening.
That's all, John. If I wanted someone in my corner, it would be the Hurricane, because I could beat anybody if I listened to him.
All right, both men back on their feet, both men in red shorts. Mike Van Meer with more tattoos than Dean Bradley.
Short time, Mike. Go now.
They both use some energy on the ground. They're looking to take a breather here. Maybe throw one big punch at a time. I think Dean won enough with that takedown if Minivan doesn't open up to win this second round.
About a minute left in the second round.
Mike, short time.
Both
Go.
men circling, being very cautious.
There. Right hook, right. You go for it. Kick.
Minivan looks like he's waiting to land that leg kick right there.
Again.
He did, and immediately Dean switches stances to the southpaw stance.
Go, Mike.
Does that tell Minivan that he's definitely accomplishing something with the leg kick to the left leg?
And it does, and I don't know why he's not opening up like John said more of that. Fake that leg kick, come up top to the switch kick. Fake that leg kick and throw a Superman punch. I mean, he's open for it. He's dropping his hands every time.
Another leg kick by Van Meer. He's followed up with a spinning back fist. Didn't land, but it looked pretty.
It did.
Nice straight right hand.
Dean needs to back him up against the cage there. I don't know, John. I think that takedown, I think they were even on their feet that round, and that takedown might have sealed that round for Dean.
Yeah, another close fight, just like the other two that they've had before, with now officially 8 rounds in the books for these guys. The person that comes out the hardest in the third round is the one that's going to win this fight. It's, again, we saw it earlier tonight. It's too close right now. They can't ride out another round like this with pitter-pat punches and going back and forth. Somebody needs to take the role of the dominant fighter.
I so agree with you. When they get in that, devastating position like Dean was in that crucifix position, man, if I was in his corner, I'd have been yelling, finish the fight, finish the fight.
Yep, he had those little pity-pat punches that didn't do much damage, and there he got the takedown he fought for. But you know what I've noticed about both men in there tonight? They have a lot of respect for each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, after
for each other.
After 2 hard-fought fights, like Rick had mentioned earlier, they know each other's game plan. They got one another's number, so they know what to expect. All you can really do is train hard and prepare for what you know, and come out and try to put on a good show. But as we talked about earlier as well, somebody needs to finish the fight. There needs to be a definitive end to this saga.
All right, let's see if it happens in round 3. Men shaking hands before the start of the third round. Both stocky men in red shorts. Mike Van Meer with the most tattoos. Dean Bradley. Oh, nice right hand by Mike Van Meer. Back Dean Bradley up a little bit.
Dean came out more aggressive, and he got hit with a big right hand and slowed him back down.
Let's see if the Minivan goes back to his leg kicks that were very, very damaging to Dean Bradley.
Good
nice
punch
right
by
hand.
Dean. He needs to get this fight on the ground. Good body shots there, slowing him down.
Going after the liver, as you mentioned earlier.
He is. Minivan missed with a big haymaker punch that I felt with the wind of over here. Dean's dropping his hands a lot now.
Yes, he is. Is that a sign of him being tired?
You know it is. It's a sign of being tired and a sign of trying to block those leg kicks. He does not want to take any more damage to that. Every time Minivan even opens his hips and looks like he might throw a punch, Dean is dropping his hands. So he has no legs underneath him right now. John, watch him push off and watch him cut angles. He just has no legs under him.
Ooh, nice knee by Bradley. A couple wild hands swings by both men.
Mike, you gotta make it your fight. Push the pace right now. Push the pace right
Whoever's corner gets their guy more active here, I think is going to win this fight. I really do. It's too close to call, and like we said, you don't leave it to the judges, Marcus, and one of them just needs to get more active and win this fight. Who wants it more right now?
So at this point, it comes down to, like you mentioned, Rick, who wants it more, and Hart pushing them through the fatigue, right?
It does. I mean, you got to set up a shot, and you got to dedicate to it, and this pitter-patter stuff is not going to win this fight.
Now, Bradley needs to close the distance, lock up, and get Mike Van Meer on his back. That's where he's been the best so far throughout the fight, and that's what it's going to take for him to win this round.
I totally agree with you, totally.
Let's see if he can do it. Van Meer a couple punches. Dean Bradley locking him up and trying to knee. Wild punches by Dean Bradley. There he goes to the body. Oh, nice. Both men. About 2.5 minutes left in round 3.
Finally going to the body like he promised. If he'd have started that in the first round, we might be in a different position right now, but he's really limp-legging that leg. He doesn't want kicked. He wants to back him up against the fence, where I think he should just charge him and go for the takedown, John.
I agree. You know, that's what I would do. He's he's being effective with closing the distance, and when Van Meer covers up, he lands some knees, but it's not doing a lot of damage, so it's not working for his benefit. It might give him a couple points here and there with the judges, but you know, more times than not, he's taking another punch coming out of that.
He's tired! He's tired!
Both men look tired. Dean Bradley with a punch that didn't seem to
now that was a good flurry. He went high and then he went low. That's that was an effective striking combination from Dean Bradley.
That was. Dean's got to really watch backing up straight. Minivan just missed him with that big right hand again. He's got to back out at an angle. Maybe back out an angle and set up that head kick.
Nice body punch by Dean Bradley.
Nobody will ever forget that punch Dean Bradley landed on Mike Downey that knocked him out. Dean Bradley's got some punching power. He's just got to dedicate to that punch.
Let's see if he can do that in the last minute and 18 seconds of the third round as we close out the trilogy of Mike Van Meer and Dean Bradley.
No one's going to remember the winner of the first and second fight. They got to lay it on the wound because it's, the third and final fight, that's what people are going to remember.
How true that is. How true that is. Both men locked up.
All right, the distance has been closed, but it's Van Meer who strikes first with the takedown attempt.
Had a double leg, gave that up. Now goes back to the foot stomp, Mike Van Meer does.
40 seconds left in the third and final round.
Oh, nice leg, nice kick by Dean Bradley. Both men just swinging. This is what we want to see.
Both of them are just ducking their heads and swinging. Minivan needs to bring his head up and throw more accurate punches instead of wasting that energy, and he might be able to put him away in this late round.
Nice overhand right by Van Meer, followed by a leg kick to the body by Dean Bradley. Nice knee by Dean Bradley. 7 seconds left. This will go to the judges. All right. Looks like Dean Bradley's bloodied up a little bit. I did not notice that till just now.
Another decision, and you two, your guess is as good as mine.
We'll look at some of the flurries from the fight between Mike Van Meer and Dean Bradley. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I'll give it a draw.
It was definitely a close fight. I've seen some crazy things happen. Both fighters put on a good performance, but neither one of them did enough to give that overwhelming appearance that they won the fight. So, again, it's another fight that goes to the judges' scorecards, and it's anybody's game.
It did. I'd like to see the CompuBox here from the punches thrown to the punches actually landed. Yes, they were both flurrying, but I don't know what the judges are going to see.
This was a tough fight. Both men hung in there. Both men threw a lot of punches. Both men took a lot of punches. Dean Bradley took a lot of kicks to his legs. We'll just see which scored better with the judges. Dean Bradley did score a takedown. He was relentless on that. Had the minivan in a crucifix position in the second round. Could not finish him off with punches that did not appear to do too much damage. Let's hear what the judges have to say. Going on to Sean T for the official call to the end of this battle.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 hard-fought rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge number 1 scores the bout 27-30, Bradley. Judge number 2 scores the bout, 29-28, Van Meer. Judge number 3 scores the bout, 27-30. Your winner, Mean Dean Bradley.
There you have it. Mean Dean Bradley wins the trilogy. He wins the third fight between he and Mike Van Meer. We're taking a quick break. We're back here with much more in just a matter of minutes. MCC 30 Thanksgiving Throwdown. More coming up after the break. Welcome back to MCC 30 Thanksgiving Throwdown. A great night of fights in the books already, but we still have more to come. We're here at Hy-Vee Hall, along with the lawman Rick Taz with the Hurricane John Halverson. I am Marcus McIntosh. Gentlemen, a lot of great fights here tonight. This is one I'm especially interested in seeing our next bout because it marks the return of a man I met years ago, the War Frog Ronnie Britt. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape.
All right, MCC newcomer David Severe, a 5'9", 175-pound freestyle fighter with a 6-4 record, taking on the War Frog, Ronnie Britt, 5'10", 175-pound froggy style jiu-jitsu practitioner, the inventor of froggy style, with a 16-3 professional mixed martial arts record.
All right, let's go on up to our cage side announcer Sean T for the official introduction of the fighters. Sean T, take it away.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this next bout is going to be a 3-round MCC catchweight bout. Brought to us by our friends at the Twisted Parrot, your home for all of the UFC and WWE pay-per-views. Great food, great drink specials. It is the Twisted Parrot. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, this mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 9 inches tall. He weighed in at 176 pounds. Fighting out of Davenport, Iowa, with a record of 6 wins and 4 losses, this is Dave Severe. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 10 inches tall. He weighed in at 176 pounds. From Des Moines, Iowa, with a record of 16 wins and 3 losses. This is the return of Ronnie, the War Frog Britt.
Ronnie Britt, definitely the crowd favorite. You have Dan Severe in the white shorts with black trim. Ronnie Britt in the red, white, and blue man hammock. I mean red, white, and blue shorts right there that are very tight. Here we go, Froggy style, back in the cage. He's definitely a crowd favorite, gentlemen. I can't wait to see his return to action right now.
Getting back to that last fight, I was going to say with all those leg kicks and foot stomps that Dean took, that he should maybe look into one of those hover-around wheelchairs. Talking about wheelchairs, here comes Ronnie Britt, the senior citizen of MMA. So Ronnie is one of the best guys in the business. That guy he will rip body parts off with his submission styles. So very aggressive submission fighter.
Dan Severe with some heavy leg kicks early on. Ronnie Britt tried to grab it. Let's see what happens. Dan Severe with some pretty fast hands, backing Ronnie Britt up. Ooh, nice Superman punch by Ronnie.
Left hand up.
Ronnie's got some good head movement. He's moving too far in a straight line back. He needs to cut some good angles here.
Ronnie Britt did some training over in Thailand, trained his Thai boxing a couple years ago, spent quite a bit of time out there. He really tried to sharpen up and bring his stand-up game to match that of his submission game because, yeah, just, you know, like Rick mentioned, he's got some great submissions in his arsenal.
So I would imagine that Severe would want to keep this fight standing then.
You know, we don't know a whole lot from David Severe. He's been in martial arts since he was 8 years old, and he's wrestled since 6th grade. So, you know, he's probably pretty comfortable on the ground as well. You know, he probably would prefer to be on top.
Looks like he's in really good shape and strong. So I'm with you, John. I think he'd be comfortable going everywhere. Man, it would take a heck of a man to match Ronnie with submission skills on the ground, but.
Nice.
Severe talked about a large weight cut for this fight. He normally walks around at about 195, 200 pounds. He weighed in at 175, so we'll see what if the fight should go into the later rounds, what kind of effect that has on him.
And he looks good, like you said, very strong upper body, keeps his hand in good position, good at counter punching. Dave looks pretty good right now, putting some good counter punches together, not taking any damage.
Yes, he is. Ronnie covering up right there. Let's see Froggy style. Good leg kick by Severe, David Severe.
Immediately welted the leg of Ronnie Britt.
Ronnie tried to answer the leg kick of his own. Ooh, nice.
Good left hook by Ronnie Britt.
Mm-hmm.
Lunging left hook.
Circle right, Ronnie. Your right hand is fast.
Does Ronnie want to work this fight to the ground?
I would say yes, John. You've got a lot more experience than I do. I think he is. Ronnie's good at stand-up, don't get me wrong, but I think he should pressure him against the fence and look for a takedown.
You know, he said that he wanted to work his stand-up on this fight. He really wanted to give that a try. Most of his wins are by submission. He said he wouldn't mind adding a knockout to his record. But, you know, if push comes to shove and it goes to the ground, you know, that's obviously where Ronnie, that's his bread and butter. That's where he's the most comfortable. And you know, you don't want to give up a loss or a bad position just to put on a show. You know, at the end of the day, both these guys are in there to win. So, you know, you got to go with what's best for you.
Ronnie Britt ducked under a left hand by Severe. Leg kick by Ronnie Britt. Leg kick by Severe. Wow.
Ronnie's doing a little reaching. Looks like both their cardio is pretty good. Ronnie needs to keep his hand up, go for a little teep there to set up something. I like to see him back him up against the cage and go for a single leg there.
Right down the pipe, Ronnie. Whenever that foot gets raised.
Nice leg kick by Ronnie Britt right
Right
there.
hand, load it up.
Dave is not backing down from him. He's coming forward, he's defending, and then coming right back forward. Ronnie Britt intimidates the heck out of me in that cage, but Dave's just, he's not backing down from him.
Nice left hand by David Severe. High kick by Severe missed. Nice inside leg kick by Severe. Wow. Ronnie Britt straight right hand. Less than a minute left in the first round.
Power, David, power.
David Severe missing with a leg kick.
So he needs to step around them leg kicks. Like I said, he's got a good rope there, good takedown.
Caught the leg, threw him down.
Looking for a leg attack there, it looked like to me. Looking for a leg attack. Softening him up.
30 seconds left in the round, so Ronnie definitely has some time to work.
He does. Softening him up with some good body shots. I don't know why he hasn't tried to pass yet, but I think he's just content softening him up right now. I think he's thinking a leg attack there, but Dave's doing a good job of locking him down with that upper body strength.
Severe holding him tight.
And Ronnie's got great leg locks, by the way.
Yes, he does.
10 seconds left in the round. Good body shots by Ronnie Britt right there. Looks like Severe will get out of this round.
When you said earlier about a flying toe hold, that's the first person that comes to mind is Ronnie Britt. I watched Ronnie Britt submit this guy in Tama with an over-the-back toe hold that, wow, just came out of nowhere. Once again, Danny Anderson comes into the cage. They've trained together for how many years, John?
For a long time. They've been in a fight game a long time.
That Des Moines Extreme team has been strong for a long, long time. I remember that Toad Holler days back when I was in high school.
Here's some action from the first round. Both men exchanging on their feet. Both Ronnie Britt and David Severe exchanging punches right there. There, Ronnie Britt caught the leg, throws Severe to the ground, and got on top of him. Did a little bit of damage, some punches to the body, no major damage. So, Rick, what are you telling Ronnie Britt if you're Danny Anderson?
Get this fight to the ground. Quit taking those leg kicks. Start stepping around better. Use your range on them counter punches and get it on the ground.
All right, John, as David Severe's corner, what would you be telling him?
Keep throwing those leg kicks. You know, throw that jab out there. Throw the leg kick. Rip that leg kick in there. Avoid the ground. You know, that's working for him. The leg kicks and the counter strikes are working for him. So keep your hands up. Set up your kicks. Throw more than one punch combination and circle out and just outwork this guy.
All right, round two action. Ronnie Britt in the red and white and blue shorts, and you have David Severe in the white shorts with black trim. Round two action. Here we go.
That just shows how tough Ronnie is with his heart here. First fight back, and he's fighting someone of Dave's caliber. I mean, he doesn't want a gimme fight. He wants a tough fight, someone that's going to bring it to him, and he's got that guy standing in front of him right now.
Sure does. You have that right, Rick. Nice high kick attempt by Severe.
He's timing that head kick pretty good, John. He's setting it up. He's just not throwing it. Ronnie's doing a good job of keeping that left hand up, keeping that at home for that kick, but Dave's timing that kick pretty good. Good job stepping on that leg kick. He does not want to take any more damage to that left leg.
Ronnie Britt with a right hand to come in, and Severe tried to jump guard.
Oh, he pulled guard.
Oh, look at Ronnie's leg. The back of his left leg. Wow.
Yeah, his legs are beat up, Marcus.
Yeah, man.
Man, John, that is really surprised. He tried jumping guard on the War Frog.
Legs are open. Legs are open.
Well, he got what he wanted. He's on his back against Ronnie. He's tying him up good. I mean, he's not taking any damage, but there's a long time left in this second round to jump guard like that right away.
Almost 4 minutes left in the second round. Ronnie Britt with a few elbows from the top.
Maybe he's been working on a special sweep or something that he thought he had a better chance of sweeping Ronnie Britt. Oh, looking for an arm bar there. Ronnie passes. No, Ronnie's going to be content going back in his guard. Dave looking for stuff. Dave reached for a leg there like he was going to try a heel hook or something transition.
Now for Severe, it's to his advantage when Ronnie's on top of him like that to lock him with his arms around him and keep him as close as possible, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you don't want to let the guy posture up so that he can rain down any punches or any elbows on you. When you're in the closed guard, I mean, that's really all that the person on top can do, you know, is to posture up and do that. So, you know, Severe doing a good job of trying to stay active. But, you know, to pull up a submission off on Ronnie Britt's going to be a little tough. You know, he's been in the game for a long time, and submissions is his specialty. You know, he's a submission fighter first and a puncher second. So it's going to be hard to get into that kind of a chess match with him. You can see Ronnie, as you can look at, he kind of rides up high on the leg. If given the opportunity, he will fall back for a leg lock.
Half guard right now. But I'm just looking at that left leg from Ronnie, the back of that left leg. Wow. That is taking some punishment.
Good leg kick. He's got a great contusion there. The blood's already coming to the top and making a bruise there. That's going to hurt Ronnie in the morning.
He'll be walking the limb for a while.
I bet if Ronnie goes out tonight, he'll figure out some way to forget about the pain for there. But in the morning, he'll probably be paying for it.
It'll come right back to him.
Yes, sir.
All right, Severe still trying to keep Ronnie Britt hugged close to him.
Ronnie's doing good. He needs to open up. He needs to finish pulling that right leg out there, Marcus, and he needs to get out of that half guard position. He's looking for submissions. If he passes there to side control or to mount, it opens up so many more submissions for him in that half guard position.
And he has 2 minutes to try something with 2 minutes left to go in round number 2.
Looked like to me he was baiting guillotine there. It looked like he was taking his weight off, trying to get Dave to come up, and it looked like he was going to bait a deep guillotine.
Few left elbow from the top from Ronnie Britt.
He's got to watch. Dave's got his left foot up there. He's going to try to buck and roll off that cage if he gives a chance. If Ronnie brings his hips up, he's going to look for a reversal there. Once again, Ronnie's looking to bury that guillotine.
And as you mentioned that, his corner says, watch the guillotine. Watch the guillotine.
Good cross face there. Oh, Ronnie's got his back and he had his arm trapped. Deep choke, boys, deep choke.
And there it is, the War Frog. Very popular here, and he's limping already on that leg. There. The man hammock. Ronnie Britt right above our broadcast booth. He's coming out to talk to us, I guess.
Job, buddy.
Congratulations, Ronnie. Great fight in there this evening. The War Frog. After retirement, he's spry, he's back, he's ready. Oh, man.
He is full of energy tonight. That win brought him alive.
Let's take a look at the finish of this fight.
Looks like he went for a guillotine there and got Severe to move, able to cinch up that arm right underneath his chin. Got a hook in and clinched it up for the win, forced Severe to tap out. Great performance by David Severe making his MCC debut.
Sure was a tough fight for Ronnie.
Another solid performance for the veteran, the War Frog, Ronnie Britt.
All right, let's go on up to our cage announcer, Sean T, to call the official end to this fight. Sean.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, your winner, 3 minutes and 42 seconds in the second round by rear naked choke, Ronnie the War Frog Britt.
There you have it, the War Frog's successful return to action after retirement. His left leg is going to be hurting him for a while. We're back with more on MCC 30. Thanksgiving Throwdown. Stick around, more bouts after the break. Coming up on the Thanksgiving Throwdown, MCC 30, the main events, co-main events, we have Andy Branson defending his welterweight title against Justin DeMoney. Should be a barn burner. You don't want to miss that. And our other co-main event, middleweight champion Elvis the King Mutapcic taking on Josh Rosaan, another barn burner. You don't want to miss that. That and much more coming up on MCC 30, the Thanksgiving Throwdown. But first, we have two young welterweights stepping into the cage. We'll have much more on that in just moments. I'm Marcus McIntosh with the Hurricane John Halverson and the Lawman Rick Tazler. Let's talk through the War Frog's successful return from retirement to the MMA cage.
Great fight back, and welcome back to the cage for the veteran Ronnie Britt as he submitted the younger, stronger, more clothed David Severe in the second round with rear naked choke.
That's right, the War Frog is back. Oh, look at him there, Rick. He's happy to be back in the ring. Looks like he's home.
He is, man. I wanted my retirement fight to him to be on my card so much. I mean, I thought he wore those tights for me, but I don't know which was better, the fight or the hip thrusting he did afterwards. I don't know who's going to remember which one more.
All right, tell him to tape for our next fight. John, talk us through this, please.
Lance Benoist, 170-pound, 5'11" Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner with a perfect 2-0 mixed martial arts record, taking on Miguel El Rey Rios Jr., 5'10", 170-pound American Jiu-Jitsu practitioner with another perfect record of 3 wins and no losses.
All right, this should be a good bout here. Let's go on up to cage side announcer Sean T for the official introduction of the fighters.
All right, MCC fans, this next bout is 3 rounds in the MCC welterweight division. Brought to us by our friends at the Komodo Club. Join us immediately following tonight's event for the official MCC after fight party just down the street at 3rd and Court. Party is at the Komodo Club. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 11 inches tall. He weighed in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of St. Louis, Missouri, with a record of 2 wins and no losses. This is Lance Benoist. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Bondurant, Iowa, with a perfect record of 3 wins and no losses. This is Miguel El Rey Rios Jr.
All right, they have it. Miguel El Rey Rios Jr. in the black tight shorts. And then we have Lance Benoist in the black shorts, the looser fitting shorts with yellow trim on them and lettering, wearing the pad on his right knee. Gentlemen, this should be a barn burner. Both men undefeated. Somebody's going to take a loss tonight.
Man, I'll tell you what, I was so excited when this fight got signed. And then in another even cooler twist of events, it's got such a cool backstory. I mean, both of these guys just recently went out, tried out for the UFC's Ultimate Fighter reality show. Both guys made it to the next round. Now they're in here fighting tonight. How cool is that if they both make it on the show and end up fighting again?
That's right. Benoist has El Rey Rios up against the cage. Tried for a leg sweep there, didn't get it. Nice knee by Benoist.
I talked to both of these guys in the back there. So respectful for each other, to me, everything. Their MCC interviews, both of them, there's no trash talking, no nothing. I love these fighters that just come to fight.
Miguel Rios fought for the takedown.
That's a deep choke, John.
That's very, very deep. You know, it's kind of hard to tell, but I'll tell you what, Benoist has a good submission game, a Bagi Jiu-Jitsu specialist, and
Miguel Rios fighting.
Rios is out.
Okay. There you have the end of the battle right there.
He went out. Miguel never thought about tapping.
He sure didn't.
He went out.
We have the doctor stepping into the ring to make sure Miguel Rios is doing okay.
Have to take another look at that. Yes. It looked like Benoist was saying something to the referee, maybe telling him that he thought that he may be out.
He is such a respectable fighter. He looked right at him and said he's out, he's out. He felt him go limp, and he wanted to make sure the ref knew it right away because he was in a bad position. It was hard to tell with his legs up like that and stuff that he was out.
Yes,
he felt him go limp, and he told the ref he was out.
Okay, it looks like Miguel Rios is sitting up at this point right now. He looks like he's doing okay. The doctor just checking to make sure. And that was a quick roll from Miguel Rios being inside the guard of Benoist to Benoist putting him in that chokehold. That was quick.
Great fighter. He just made his MCC debut and beat one of the best fighters
MCC has up and coming right now.
And John, you mentioned both made it.
Fight.
Sorry about that, Rick. John, you mentioned both men have made it to later stages of the Ultimate Fighter show for the UFC. Maybe they'll both get on it, get in the show, and get it on again.
That would be very cool. Very cool. Both of these guys have very bright futures. And you know, it's a great win for Benoist, and it's, you know, Miguel Rios, he lost to a tough guy. These two guys are the future of mixed martial arts right here. These guys that are fighting in MCC today, I can guarantee you that you're going to see both these guys fighting in pay-per-view on the future. I'd love to see them both make it onto the show and maybe get another go-around.
All right, well, let's check in with our cage announcer, Sean T, to call the official end to this fight.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, 57 seconds in round number 1 by technical submission, Lance Benoist.
There you have your victor, Lance Benoist. He improves his record, another win, no losses. He gave Miguel El Rey Rios his first loss. We're taking a break here on MCC 30 Thanksgiving Throwdown. We're back with more after the break. Stick around. Welcome back to MCC 30, the Thanksgiving Throwdown. Our co-main events are about to begin. The first one, Andy Branson against Justin DeMoney for the Welterweight Championship. But first, we're back here at Hy-Vee Hall in Des Moines. I'm Marcus McIntosh with the Hurricane and Lawman. Let's recap the last 4 fights, John.
All right, we have Mike Graham taking on Nick Rouse. Mike Graham landed a couple shots to the chin of Nick Rouse and put him out. Big win for Mike Graham, who's making his MCC debut. And in the trilogy, Mean Dean Bradley stepping back into the cage with the former champ Mike Minivan Van Meer. Mean Dean Bradley wins the series 2-1. And also the return of the War Frog, Ronnie Britt, who proves that he still has it with a second round submission over David Sevier. And next up was Lance Benoist and Miguel El Rey Rios Jr. Lance Benoist pulled out the first round upset with the technical fall, guillotine choke.
All right, now we're getting ready for the Welterweight Championship. Justin DeMoney against Andy Branson. Rick, what can we expect in this one? This should be a barn burner.
Fireworks, that's all I can say. I was really looking forward to Justin's debut against Kevin Burns. He backed out, got a call from Strikeforce. He had a great Strikeforce debut. He'd come up a little short on it, but he looked good. Andy Branson's looking to get to the next level. Justin's been there, and Justin says he will not be a stepping stone for anybody.
All right, as the welterweight champion, Andy Branson enters the ring. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. John, can you talk us through this? Or maybe not. You're looking at a shot from the cage. Here we go.
Here we go. The challenger, Justin DeMoney, comes in at 5'11" tall, 170 pounds. He is a boxer with a professional record of 15 wins with only 3 losses. Taking on the champion, Andy Danger Zone Branson, 6 foot tall, 170 pounds, a Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu practitioner with a perfect 5-0 professional record.
Let's go inside the cage to our cage side announcer, Sean T, for the official introduction of the fighters.
All right, MCC fans, we are ready for our co-main event of the evening. This bout is scheduled for 5 rounds, and it is for the MCC welterweight title. This bout brought to us by Spartan Strength. Train like a Spartan, perform like a champion. It is also sanctioned by the Iowa Athletic Commission. Deputy Commissioners John Walsh, Bob Gaynor, Steve Ellsbury, and Ted Lewis are in attendance. Your judges for this contest are Randy Reams, Chris Bott, and Bruce Huckfeld. Your ringside physicians are Dr. Rick Reinhard and Dr. Brett McDonough. Your referee, Matt Cook. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 11 inches tall. He weighed in at 175 pounds. Fighting out of Oskaloosa, Iowa, with a record of 15 wins with 3 losses. This is Justin DeMoney. And his opponent across the ring, he is the current MCC welterweight champion, standing 6 feet tall, weighing in at 175 pounds, fighting out of Des Moines, Iowa, with a record of 5 wins and no losses. This is Andy Danger Zone Branson.
We'll listen to the referee's instructions.
Remember the rules in the back. Do I have any questions from you?
Got any questions from you? All right, let's get it going.
All right, both men look ready. Both men wearing black shorts. Andy Branson's the one who's clean shaven, and Justin the Money is wearing the beard. This ought to be a good battle. Two young men ready to go. Andy Branson has a 5-0 record. Justin the Money 15-3. Time for the welterweight championship on Midwest Cage Championship. Let's go.
Branson likes to use his Muay Thai background. He's also got a professional boxing background. Justin the Money says he's been looking for somebody to come in and stand up and trade punches with him, and that's just what he's got tonight with Andy Branson.
A light leg kick from Justin the Money did not do any damage, didn't land. Both men kind of measuring each other. The Money easily gets out of the way. Sorry.
Yeah, both guys just looking for distance early here.
Nice leg kick.
He really dug for that leg kick.
Andy Branson with a leg kick. Another body kick. Oh, hit the cage. Andy Branson did with his right hand. Hope that doesn't do too much damage to him. Nice body punch by Justin the Money.
They're both starting slow. I like Andy a lot. He's got a great, professional career in the Air Force. He was going to be an attorney. I mean, he's thinking of his future. I think he's going to make it to the big show soon, but if not, he's got a follow-up plan for the next 10 years. Very intelligent, very smart, aggressive fighter. I really love watching Andy fight.
Yes, he's a very good fighter out there. Relatively young in his career at 5-0. Front leg kick by Branson that turned to a body kick. Short on the left jab, Branson was. Nice leg kick by Andy Branson. Wow. Lots of leg kicks tonight.
John, I think you've sparred with Andy a few times. How fun is that, taking them leg kicks from that man?
He kicks and he punches hard, but one thing about Andy Branson is he's a very, very technical fighter. Whether it's in the first round or the 5th round, he doesn't get sloppy, and that's why he wins fights.
You're exactly right. He is a technician. He just missed his chin there with that big right hand.
Hands up, left hand up. Just come with the right kick. Left kick.
Another leg kick by Andy Branson to the body. Front kick by the Money.
Andy is stalking now. Andy's really pushing forward, and Justin's backing up. He kind of learned his range, looking for a big body shot there. He's picking some better shots here and putting some more power behind it now.
Andy Branson stalking him, as you mentioned, keep still moving forward. The Money moved out of the way of that leg kick from Branson. Smart move. Body kick blocked. Wild right hand by Andy Branson, the champion.
Justin's kind of staring Andy right in the eyes when he fights him. Most of us fighters and stuff, we kind of watch the body or watch the chest more. Justin's really staring Andy down. I don't know if he can see all those kicks coming. You know, he's way more experienced and a better fighter than me, but it's kind of rare to see him staring him in the eyes like that, isn't it, John?
Yeah, he's got a little bit different style. You know, he stands up a little bit. You see Branson has a little bit wider base, and DeMoney is a little more straight up. But that comes a lot from a boxing background too, because that's how boxers fight. You know, Branson more of the traditional Muay Thai, so he kind of has the rhythm, bouncing, you know, from his back foot to his front foot. But DeMoney's a gamer, you know. He's in there to bang, and he's in there to he's looking to land that big right.
And he got the tight clinch. He might have hurt him with that knee to the body.
Money is in trouble right here. Andy Branson trying to finish him. There's a tap. There's a tap right there. Andy Branson defending his welterweight title. Wow, that was quick work. Once Andy Branson smelled blood, he moved in for the kill quickly.
That was a big knee to the body that Andy hit him with.
Wow. Andy Branson, welterweight champion, holds on to that belt. We're going to look at the finish of the fight right here. John and Rick, talk us through this, please.
All right, it was a big knee to the body that set up the beginning to the end. It caught him right in the breadbasket and just really took the money out of his game. At that point, he had nothing to do other than cover up, and when that wasn't working, he was forced to tap out.
Wow, he hit him with that knee, then it was quickly ended. Andy Branson smelled the blood in the water, and he went after it tough.
After the knee, 2 big shots to the temple, and down he goes.
Let's go up to Sean T for the official call to the end of this fight. Sean.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, 3 minutes and 35 seconds in round number 1 by TKO, and still MCC welterweight champion, Andy Teasers Branson!
Andy Branson defends his welterweight title, first round TKO. Stick around, we have much more coming your way. You look at some of the Andy Branson's fans in the crowd, and there's matchmaker Ryan Haas with Andy Branson. Here's the end of the fight right here. Coming up next, we have our co-main event, the middleweight championship on the line. Stay with us. Welcome back to MCC 30 Thanksgiving Throwdown here at Hy-Vee Hall. I'm Marcus McIntosh with the Hurricane John Halverson and the lawman Rick Townsend. We just watched Andy Branson defend his welterweight title. We are waiting for the king, Elvis Mutapcic, to step into the ring to defend his welterweight title tonight. His opponent came to the cage with the music Born in the USA playing. There you look at the king, Elvis, and his legion of fans here tonight. John and Rick, I'm expecting another action-packed bout.
Oh man, this is a good one, man. This is what we talked about earlier. Classic striker versus grappler. Josh Rosaan, a submission wizard, is on a run right now, defeating UFC veterans. Any up-and-comer thrown his way. Same thing can be said for Elvis Mutapcic. Just had one of the greatest fights of his career when he defeated
Zach Cummings.
Zach Cummings, our former MCC middleweight champion. Elvis is one of the most devastating strikers in the division right now. He's one of the toughest up-and-comers in the United States right now. Both of these guys destined for stardom, and tonight they're going to fight inside the MCC cage.
Here we have the tail of the tape. Challenger Josh Rosaan, 185 pounds, standing 5'11", jiu-jitsu record 7-0. Elvis Mutapcic, the king, 185 pounds, 6 feet tall, a striker with a 7-1 record. Elvis is wearing the white shorts with black lettering, and Rosaan is in the brown shorts. This should be another barn burner. Let's go on up to our cage side announcer, Sean T, for the official introduction of the fighters.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our main event of the evening is scheduled for 5 rounds, and it is for the MCC middleweight title. Brought to us by our friends at NutriShop, with 3 locations in West Des Moines, Ankeny, and Ames. Come see why they are the leader in nutrition and diet supplementation. Get in shape faster with NutriShop. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Rapid City, South Dakota, with a record of 15 wins and 3 losses, the challenger, Josh Rosaan. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. This mixed martial artist stands 6 feet tall. He weighed in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Des Moines, Iowa, by way of Sarajevo, Bosnia, holding a record of 7 wins with 1 loss. He is the reigning MCC middleweight champion, Elvis the King Mutapcic.
Let's listen to the referee give the fighters instructions before the bout takes place.
All right, gentlemen, this is for the middleweight championship. We went over the rules in the back. Do I have any questions from you, Josh? Do I have any questions from you? Let's go.
All right. As Sean T leads the ring, we've talked about leg kicks all night. How would either of you like to take leg kicks from Elvis? Look at the legs on him. Man.
No way. I would spray him and run like a little girl.
I just run.
Yes.
Round 1, here we go. Elvis the King Mutapcic, the champion in the white shorts. Rosaan in the brown ones. And leg kick by Elvis. Missed it smart. Nice inside leg kick by Rosaan.
I don't think I'd want to kick him in the leg. I think I'd hurt my foot more than I'd do damage, John.
Yeah, Elvis definitely's got some tree trunks underneath
He
him.
does. Leg kick by Rosaan.
Holding his hands in that cupping position, just waiting to unload with those strikes.
And Elvis has heavy hands as well as some thick legs.
Great technique, elbows in, just looking to strike.
He's kind of squatting down, ready to go. Nice leg kick by both men exchanging there. Elvis, some nice punches right there, a little combination 1-2. Another combination by Elvis, but he took one.
Both of them have tested each other a little bit. Both of them taking a few big shots here already.
Rosaan, a nice kick to the body of Elvis Mutapcic. Elvis moving forward. Nice inside leg kick by Rosaan.
Mutapcic showed his excellent chin in his last fight against Zach Cummings. He got clipped in the eye in the final round. He dominated the entire fight, and in the last couple minutes of the last round, he got clipped in the eye, blurred his vision, and he got clipped right in the chin.
Oh, right there. Hit him hard.
Yep.
Good left hook to the chin.
Yep.
Josh puts Elvis to the ground.
He's trying to.
I think Elvis's head's cleared already.
Yes.
Good bicep control. He's not taking any damage. Looking for Oompa escape.
Yeah,
Trying to get
again,
back in guard.
Elvis has a great chin. He got hit hard, but it's going to take a lot to put him out.
Yes,
Great recovery. As soon as he hit the ground, it seemed that he got his bearing right back. Just
Looking
a
for
flash
Kimura,
knockdown.
looking for guard. He's all offense right now. Josh taking his back, though, and getting hooks in.
What does Elvis have to do to get out of this? Because this is a bad situation right here.
He needs wrist control. He doesn't want to let Rosaan get that forearm underneath his chin. Josh Rosaan has an excellent pedigree in submission wrestling. All of his wins have come by way of submission. So, that's something that Elvis is prepared for, and he knows that he doesn't want to get into that chess match.
Rosaan had a full mount. Elvis rolled to his stomach. Rosaan trying to take his back and.
Elvis is looking to turn his hips. He's doing the right deal. He's fighting hands. He's looking for positions. He's making up some space to try to turn his hips.
And the thing about Elvis, I'm noticing he's not panicking. He's calm. He's breathing. He's staying cool. He's looking for what to do.
He's been over this position time and time again in training. He's prepared for this for hours. You're not going to show any fighters like Andy Branson, Elvis Mutapcic. You're not going to show those guys anything in the cage that they haven't went over time and time again in practice.
He needs to get that gable grip off that top hand, and there he goes. He's out.
Now he's
Out
trying
of the
to
choke, turn his hips. He's got to guard that armbar.
Yep. And as you see, the fans are pretty happy about Elvis reversing that, getting on top. But he does have to guard that armbar.
He's got a good position. There he is. In Josh's guard.
Raining down some punches.
Josh is doing a decent job right now, keeping him locked down, moving his guard up.
Sure as Elvis pops it up.
He's in a bad place, Marcus, up against that fence. If Elvis can get mounted right here, he's in big trouble.
And that's where Elvis wants to keep him, right up against that cage, right?
He wants to keep him right there. He wants to keep him stationary and keep his hips down on the ground, his head on the ground, and give punishment.
1 minute left in the first round.
Josh doing a good job getting back to full guard.
Elvis standing up.
Elvis is posturing up. That'd be a bad sight, seeing that man postured up over the top of you, throwing leather down at you.
It sure would. Elvis
Doing
has
a good
hold
job
his
with
leg.
foot control. He's got to watch for those up kicks. Elvis does. He's trying to get foot control right there, Marcus, so he doesn't have to worry about that up kick.
And those kicks to the leg will bring him down. Will bring those feet down quickly. 30 seconds left in the first round.
Let's see if Elvis wants some payback here.
Head kick blocked. Elvis with a nice punch and he stepped aside.
Elvis lands a good left hook of his own and pulling a guillotine.
Yes, he is right there.
Deep.
15 seconds. Can he get the submission?
Short time. He's swimming good.
There it
He's
is.
tapping.
Elvis got it
He's
tapped.
tapping.
9 seconds left in the first round. Elvis Mutapcic, his fans behind us are very happy. This was some good action. Elvis took a great punch to the chin, and he weathered the storm, having the man take his back, and he fought out of it. Submission with less than 10 seconds to go in the first round. There you see welterweight champion Andy Branson in Elvis's corner. He's happy. All of Elvis's many legions of fans around the stadium are happy as well. This was quite an end to Thanksgiving Throwdown, John.
Wow, great fights, and we've seen a little bit of everything tonight. But the champions keep their belts right here in Des Moines, Iowa. Both Andy Branson and Elvis Mutapcic coming out on top tonight. Great fights.
Rick, great night of fights. Wow. Talk us to the finish of the fight, Rick.
Man, that was good. He got hurt with a left hook, so he shot in. He didn't have his head in good position at all. Hooks up that guillotine. Man, when he locks them legs around you, man, you're going to sleep or you're tapping.
Those thick legs could squeeze the air right out of you.
He fought it as long as he could.
Oh, wow. What a great ending to a great night of fights. And Elvis looks like he's bleeding. I did not notice that before. He took some punishment. Looks like he has a cut above. Is it the right eye?
Both of his eyes have cuts below him, and they're swelling shut.
Wow. Looks like Elvis did a great job holding steady and doing what he could to hold on and win that fight. And he did just what he had to do to survive and then sunk in that choke to end the fight. A great night of fights here. Oh, let's go up to the ring announcer Sean T for the call to the end of the fight inside the cage.
4 minutes and 50 seconds in round number 1, and still MCC middleweight champion Elvis the King Mutapcic. All right, Elvis, before we bring Joey up here.
All right, there you have it. The King wins his fight. He holds on to the middleweight belt. Andy Branson holds on to the welterweight belt. John and Rick, a great night of fights.
Absolutely, the greatest time of the year for the fights, the annual Thanksgiving Throwdown, and this year it did not disappoint.
It did, and it was an honor being here with you two. I don't know who on earth is going to beat Andy and Elvis, guys. They're just on the top of their game.
They are very tough. Well, we'll see what happens in January for MCC 31. For the Hurricane John Halverson, the Lawman Rick Tassler, I'm Marcus McIntosh, MCC 30, Thanksgiving Throwdown in the books. Lots of great action. We'll see you back here in January. Great night. Everyone be safe going home. Have fun. For the crew, we're out of here. Have a great night.